and you saw that Zach, Trini, and Jason were gone.
Oh yeah, and then you're just like, who are these guys?
But Tommy's still here.
Tommy's always there.
I'm Tommy with the green headband. I'm definitely Tommy. Because Tommy went away for a minute too.
Then he come back. Tommy's always there. He like 75 still.
No, remember he went away after he wasn't the Green Ranger anymore.
Mm-hmm. He came back like what? That's the
white one, Ranger. Right? Yeah, he came back as the White Ranger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, now is a good time to say shout out to Lon, Jared, and Victoria. I guess you could call them our original players on this podcast. Yes and no, because there's a lot of moving pieces. Not all the time, but every now and then. It just is what it is. Shout out to them. It's still love. You know what I mean? They still got love for me. I still got love for them. It's just different seasons in life, you know? I don't know if you noticed, I dropped the podcast this week today. So y'all probably don't know about it. But if you haven't heard it, not you guys, but if anyone listening out there, if you haven't heard it and you're like, well, what's going on? Take a listen to yesterday's podcast. So with that said, hello, everyone. This is Keith, and you are listening to Thank God for the Group Chat. Today I have with me Tobias, Alana, Sharice Richardson. I don't know why I love to say your last name. It just goes. And Shane Kidd is here with us today.
What up, y'all?
We got a lot to discuss. Four major topics, but a lot to discuss within those topics.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Gonna try to make this as light as possible, but every now and then when you're doing this, there are just things that you have to talk about. You have an obligation to talk about them because people tune into you each and every week to hear you talk about them. And so as much as you don't want to talk about them, gotta talk about them. And that's why we're here, right?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I don't have a figure of speech for you guys this week. I don't. I know. You know what happened? You know what happened? I took today off of work. I took the day off of work, and I wanted to prepare for this podcast. But have you ever been so excited about doing something
that you don't do it?
Exactly.
No.
I have had many plans to write verses, and I do everything but write that verse.
Exactly. Yeah. So as much as I tried to prepare, ADD was like, that's cute. You trying to prepare. I see your preparation and I raise you all the distraction. You ain't about to do nothing.
So they pretty much treated it like Rick James treated Eddie Murphy's couch.
Oh.
Yeah, basically. That's what happened. But we do have a few things to talk about. A lot of things happened last week, and it almost seemed like everything happened as soon as we got done recording last week. Almost immediately before we even wanted to be, before we were even prepared to be. We never want to be in this position, but before we were even able to catch our breath from the other events that happened, we found out about another police shooting, dealing with a black man and his family involved. T, can you help us with that?
All right, so I was reading up on it today, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the simple fact is, like you said, his family is involved in like a lot of protests and a lot of things. And his grandfather was like a prominent pastor in his city. And it's a part of me that as I was reading the story that felt kind of like he was covered as though, because like he got shot 7 times, and I saw it. And as soon as I saw the shootings, I was like, oh man, another killing. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, another murder. And then, you find out that his kids was there, and you're just like, oh, another one in front of his like kids. And then he survived, which is not what that cop wanted or not what they expected. And then as I was reading the story, I found out like his granddad, he led marches.
Just real quick, before you continue, his name was, have you said his name?
Jacob Blake. I hadn't said his name.
Okay.
I hadn't said his name. But the Blake family was very like big on, they've led marches. They've inflicted change in the 60s and 70s. They've broke down like the racial constructions of certain like laws and everything, just led by his granddad alone. And so then I find it kind of, I wouldn't even say ironic. I feel like things happen for a reason. And it's like he gets shot. This person whose family is really big on already what's going on today. Like his family is involved, has already been through this. His family has, like I'm pretty sure we all have like people in our family who have marched, who have stood for something, but his family was known for that. And for that to happen, and of course it led to like riots. And then I was reading about how his mom blatantly said, hey, that's not us. We want you guys to protest, but do it peacefully, because that will honor us and that will honor God. And I just find it, I think that I was reading about how his the word miracle kept coming up as I was reading it, because he's paralyzed now. And the word miracle, it would be a miracle if he walks again. And in my mind, I kept thinking it's a miracle that he's alive. Right. And so then if he does walk again, there's a part of me, like my dad got into a car, just a backstory about me. When I was like little, my dad got into a car accident and he was told that he would never walk again. He walks fine now. And there's a part of me that feels like if like in a year from now, I hear that Jacob Blake is walking, I won't be surprised. Because I feel like there's like this, like when like this we tried to kneel before in football, Kaepernick, and it was just like, and then this happened, and now like the NBA, all sports wanted to halt. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this was, I hate that this happened to him, but something for me just feels like something's lining up in a big way, somehow, some way. But that's how I feel about it, as I was reading it. But what do y'all think? Did y'all read up on it?
I didn't necessarily read up on it. I didn't necessarily do any research. For me, it was just a matter of, it was like I said to myself, here we go again.
Yeah.
And it's a painful here we go again. It's not a hero, like here we go again, like, oh, I'm used to it. It's more like when is this going to stop? Because I understand that these police officers that do these actions do not value an African-American life. I completely understand that. It's clear as day. Mm-hmm. But what I don't understand is why no one's being punished. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, please believe on the spot, we are getting locked up. We, as in African Americans, we are going to jail, no questions asked. And I know everyone knows of white privilege. Everyone knows of what we are seeing. But my biggest issue is how they're trying to make this okay. And it's not. These cops don't get as much as a day in jail for murder. And that's crazy, because now you're saying they're above the law. So you get mad at us for rioting and burning stuff down and all this other stuff. But I'm like, y'all do understand, y'all just almost killed someone. And y'all have killed people in the past.
It makes us feel like our life isn't worth anything.
And that's I think that's the whole thing. I think that's what they're trying to program our minds to think. So all this rebellion and all, to me, it's just like, okay, we'll do it again. Okay, we'll do it again. And I'm just like, so when does this sick cycle end? You know, because I'm just like, we're not going to back down. Clearly, we're not that generation. You know, the fear is gone. The only thing that we fear is us being next. But at the same time, we kind of, some of us anyway, have taken on that approach that if it is me, then it's not in vain. I'll be a martyr. You know, I'm standing for something. Because we all know this is wrong. You know, everyone knows it's wrong. It's no way around it. You can't say, oh, he was attacking me. It's none of that. You guys are killing innocent people.
I was talking to a white, one of my white associates. I say associate because now I can't use friend like I used to. Like I realize, like as people show their character, I can't be labeling you as a friend because then it's kind of like, oh, you're Tobias's friend. I'm like, oh no, I don't agree with nothing he's saying. No, don't bring that over here.
I agree. You got to categorize people rightly.
Yeah, and so I say associate because it's like it. I feel like the other day I was talking to him, and then I was saying like, at some point I feel like you're just trying to, and I wasn't like, you get frustrated, and so I try not to call people dumb, stupid, but I did that day. I was like, at some point I feel like you're just trying to play dumb or be stupid because it's like everything I said, he had like a little like nitpicky rebuttal about it. Well, what if this happened or this happened? And one time this happened to a white person, and I'm just like, bro, you're being dumb. It's like you see this, and at this point you're just trying to make an excuse to make it be like, okay, black people are tripping. Like I've seen so many white people who are like blatantly like, okay, yeah, we're privileged and we have to do something to help like our help our black brothers and sisters and everything. And then the other ones, I'm just like, y'all are really like just trying to at this point,
trying to minimize
it. Yeah, it's like you're like actively being like, okay, I don't see anything, and that makes me upset more than anything.
Nasia has entered the group chat. Nasia, what are your thoughts?
We can't hear you.
Dang it. No, can't.
I can read lips though.
I mean, that would be great if we weren't doing a podcast.
I know,
but it's like
we'll definitely come back to Nasia. Shane, what are your thoughts when you heard about the Jacob Blake incident?
Yeah. Initially hearing it was one of those things. It's like it took me a little bit before I looked at it and tried to make sure I avoid the video because I was like, I do not need to see another black man getting shot.
I was like that.
Yeah. And then at this point, I'm like, if somebody's dying, you know, don't film it. Fight. It's like if you see the police about to try to shoot me, fight them. Don't put no camera on. I need you to go throw some hands. Try something. Don't
That's our only proof that they do it. Imagine if we didn't have those cameras.
It's like,
then they can make their own narrative.
It's like what Will Smith said. Racism isn't getting worse, it's just getting filmed.
Yeah, right. I get it. But then what was interesting was friend of mine, shout out to Fanatic, Brady Goodwin, and he told the story about his friend who was a cop. And this was interesting what he posted. Here's what he told me, you know, because this was him in a conversation with his homeboy who was graduating from the police academy. He's like he didn't know if he could continue in the police academy in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. When I asked why, he replied, "They told us that if we have to shoot someone, then we should shoot to kill." I asked, is this because the suspect could possibly harm them if he or she lives? He said, no, it's a liability issue. If we shoot someone and they live, they could sue the department.
Right.
So to stop that from happening, it's financially better if the person does not survive. And as a Christian, I don't know if I can do that. And so like when I heard, when he spilled that, I'm like, this is what we're up against. It's like,
well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. And I hate that had to be confirmed. I hate that they can confirm that, but like when you think about it, it makes sense. Like why all of these people, like, because they remember Rodney King. They remember all the money that Rodney King got once he went to trial and all. Once they, he sued them and everything like that. They knew what happened, and so they was like,
sad?
let's never let this happen again.
That's sad. Like I think about, I was reading somewhere like over in Germany and everything, how they take like their past, like, we talk about like Nazis and all of this horrible stuff. And I think about how over their history, they actually like beat it into like in their school books, they talk about the horrible things that they did because they want to inflict change. They don't want to be known as those people who did those things. And that's why it's actually different over there. But then over here, it's like we try to like hush, let's hush slavery, let's hush police brutality, to the point where if something happens, it's not mirrored as a lesson to be like, oh, we got to do better. It's mirrored as a lesson of let's do the worst possible thing we possibly can do, so that way it doesn't happen again of us losing money.
Well, that's because America is built on propaganda. That's one of the things that America is built upon. So what are we known for? We're known for being the land of the free, home of the brave, land of opportunity. We're known for those type of things. And so, and we, it's profitable for people to rock with us. You know what I mean? So if they don't, that means less money comes in, and we not as rich as we like to make ourselves out to be anyway. Or when I say America as a whole, but that's the thing. We want to sweep things under the rug because it hurts our bottom line. Nasia, are you able to hear yet or talk yet? No.
What I want to say.
Wait. I think I heard you.
Hold on. I heard something.
Speak.
I'm definitely talking, but can you hear me?
Yes.
I
did.
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah.
If you could have Show turn it up just a little bit. What up, Show? I know you can't hear me, but
oh, Show's there? What up?
Yeah, he was PAing.
What up, Show? Thank you for that verse way back.
Oh, she's working on that. Alana, your thoughts and concerns?
On the Jacob Blake case, I think when it happened, my response was similar to Shane's. I saw it everywhere. I only watched the video once because I only wanted to watch it once. I think that I assumed as well that he was dead. And I want to say that I read that was the case. And then I saw another headline after that he was not. And so, that was shocking. And I do think that it's nothing short of a miracle. There's been a lot of people saying that there's obviously big purpose behind why he is still living, and that hopefully it will catapult us into a different type of change or a different type of side of the story than what we've gotten. So right now we have all of the video coverage and all of that we can speak from, and speaking from our own points of view as Black people who are just hurt as bystanders and parties watching it happen, but coming from a person who was actually involved in it, to live through that 7 shots in that close of a range. I really look forward to and really pray for the courage that he's going to need in order to tell his story the way that it needs to be told. And I just hope that it matters. That's what I hope. Because I feel like we've been telling the story from the standpoint of this is just factually what happened based off of footage that we have, and that hasn't mattered enough. And I don't know what change it would do coming from the horse's mouth, but I hope that it matters. So
I hope it does too. And what I was going to say is, back to what Keith was saying about like propaganda. I know I'm just Tobias, and I know like Trump and nobody big is listening to what I have to say, but I hope they realize the illusion is disintegrating. Because like I said, I think I said this on this podcast before, when I was in New Zealand, people talked different and they talked to me kindly, and they said, and I asked somebody why, and they said, because we know what you're treated like over there back home. And so, yeah, your image of being the land of the great and free and all that stuff is disintegrating, and people see who you really are. Your mask is falling off, America.
Yeah. Our country has always fought for privilege. It's like it's actually the whole reason for the Boston Tea Party. If you ever like learning about history and learning the nuances of it, there's a good podcast, Revisionist History by Malcolm Gladwell, and he broke down the Boston Tea Party was really a bunch of really they were trying to what happened was Americans were trying to hustle their own tea, and the thing was the British was, they had their tea, and it was actually cheaper than what the aristocrats were trying to hustle. And so pretty much since you're messing with our business, let's get away, because we want to do business our way. We want to keep it. We don't want to pay taxes to y'all on your tea, even though it's cheaper than what we're pushing, but that's how we're going to do it. And since then, it's like, again, America's been, the majority of America, or those who've been in power, have been trying to keep their privilege and keep things going their way.
Hence why they make it such an urgency to learn that in school. I never saw the point of that in history class. I really didn't.
Yeah.
I was a history teacher for 2 years. I was a history teacher for 2 years, and I took it upon myself to amend the lesson plans many a times. Then my classes technically were civics and then American history for 8th graders. But all of my classes were Black history for that purpose.
Dope.
Plus it was in the inner city of Jacksonville, Florida. So 90% of the students were Black.
That's
so
dope.
It was relevant
to you.
Yo, your class sounded like it was lit.
Civics, I think, is one of the most important classes, and it doesn't exist in a lot of schools. But to understand what it means to be a citizen of the United States, what rights you have, how to actually walk those rights out, learning that as a 12 to 14-year-old, I think is critical.
It is. Yeah. It molds your mind.
Absolutely.
I was reading the new Jim Crow, and it was so much stuff in there that I was like, oh, I can say that if a cop does this, I can do. It was so much stuff that I didn't know. It was just what's funny or what's sad is now that I know, there was still a part of me that was like, well, will I be bold enough to say
it?
Right.
The reality.
Exactly. It's the matter of it being respected. We have every right, but that doesn't mean that our rights are protected. They exist, but I mean, even dating all the way back to slavery, there was true freedom was always still this sense of illusion because it never looked the same for us as it did for them.
So 13th Amendment.
Exactly. It's there. So our rights are a thing, but not enough.
Asia, you there?
I think she's singing a song.
But I don't hear nothing
in your face.
It's crazy. It's like a poltergeist.
It's delayed and it's really low.
It is delayed.
Because she's talking and then we hear her
after she's done. It's crazy.
Yeah.
She must have something that the devil doesn't want us to hear.
Yes. Something the devil doesn't want y'all to hear.
Hey, I hear you now.
There we go.
Helped?
We rebuke the spirit of Teddy Riley.
Before we move on. Before we move on, before we move on, I want to give you the floor if you have anything to say in regards to this, anything that we haven't said, or just to piggyback.
Look, I have nothing to say. Everything that I caught was excellent, and I kind of missed a lot because I was trying to fix this audio. So
we here now.
I don't want to repeat.
We here now. That's important. I guess we just have to be a little bit more careful so we don't step on anything that you're going to say going forward. So we brought up the Boston Tea Party, which is dope. That was a form of a protest. That was a form of a demonstration. The NBA subsequently, due to Jacob Blake's to that incident, and I hate calling it an incident. It's like it was attempted murder, and so
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I want to, I want to put that in
attempted lynching.
Yeah, I want to put that in perspective. They decided to demonstrate, and the Milwaukee Bucks, because I think that's where it happened in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They said, "Look, we are not going to play this basketball game. It is non-essential. We're not going to play." And the rest of the NBA said, "Well, dang, then I guess we're not going to play our games either." And I'm saying it like that for a reason, and we'll get to that. Then they thought about canceling the rest of the playoffs. But then they wound up not canceling the rest of the playoffs. Matter of fact,
how long after was that?
Like maybe like a day.
Okay.
It was a thought.
It was
about it. It was like
LeBron said, "F this, man." He said, "F this, man. We're tired of this S. We're not doing it anymore, right?"
LeBron said that. Why?
Yeah. And then the next day, he was like, "I spoke too soon. Definitely want to finish these playoffs."
I feel like somebody talked to
Kenny
him.
the Jet Smith.
He didn't want to lose that Space Jam. He didn't want to lose that Space Jam money.
That's a totally different.
I know. He didn't want to
that money.
He's like, we can't rewrite it. Kenny the Jet Smith walked off the set, and he said, "Look, I want to stand in solidarity with my my fellow NBA constituents because I used to play basketball myself once upon a time. So I'm going to walk off too, just like the kids are doing."
Unplugged himself and walked off.
Yeah, he did. And Shaq and Ernie and Charles Barkley, Charles was like, "Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade." He didn't know what to do. And so,
it's the voice.
He didn't know what to do. And so I have a question for you guys, and I think we got to come back now because I don't want to have to cut us off in the middle of this. I know we got 10 minutes left, but when we come back, I want to talk about, was that the right move for them to boycott, and was it the right move for them to boycott and then say, "All right, now we're going to continue"? All right, we'll be right back. More of Thank God for the Group Chat right after this. So we're back and we're talking about the NBA. I don't even want to call it a boycott, but we're back talking about the NBA boycott. And it's my job to be unbiased here as much as possible. But as you can already tell, I vehemently disagree with what took place. But so what are you guys' thoughts? Do you think that a boycott should have taken place? And do you think that they should still be boycotting? Or do you think that they should be playing?
No and yes.
Yeah.
No and yes.
Demonstrative.
Know that if they were going to let this boycott last for 24 hours, then no. It didn't send across the message that was needed for the magnitude of what they were standing for. If you're going to boycott. And quite frankly, considering the conditions of the NBA right now, meaning that even the way we experience the NBA is limited at this point. I think that that's really just taking another step, in that direction. It's not as though, and not even if they were in full throttle NBA like we're used to it, it's still worth it. What I'm saying is that they should have been able to wrap their heads around why this would have been necessary. And I think that the perspective was there, but the intentions weren't, I don't know, they weren't as strong as they needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm right there with you. I feel like at this
you can hear you really good. Go ahead.
Yes.
I'm here.
Oh, we spoke too soon.
Keith jinxed it.
Now, am I
Powers
choppy?
for good, Keith.
Yeah, you good. Let's
Oh
go.
my gosh.
You got it.
So I'm right with you. I feel like at this point, nobody would have said anything if they decided not to protest. Nobody would have been like, why is the NBA still going on? Why are you still playing basketball? Like, they would have not been a thought. But like, if you put yourself out there, like, let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. Like, you committed to this. They're always talking about the bus boycott. Like, they did that for over a year. Like, so if you're going to make a stand for something, it has to have some type of longevity to it. Otherwise, you're just perpetuating, like, hey, we could say we are going to do something and then we're going to quit anytime it starts to become an inconvenience. So not only is it showing like, oh, the message is important, but it's not that important. Whereas if they didn't do anything at all, it would have just been like, oh, okay, we're not thinking about you right now. But it also shows like the younger generations that are looking up to these people. Like if I want to protest, I only have to do it for a day. Like it's, and that'll be enough change in order to move forward. I don't have to do anything long term. I don't have to make any real sacrifices.
Yeah, that's something that our culture is good at, performative demonstrations, and performative demonstrations don't create change. And that's the thing. It's like, because like that's how it felt. It felt like, yo, we're just gonna do this, you know, and then we're gonna go back to normal. When the thing is, if anything that's been clear about this year is like, we can't go back to normal. Normal has not what's been working. We've seen that this quote unquote normal is actually dysfunctional. And that's the problem. It's like we're very comfortable with the dysfunction that is, instead of willing to disturb the sense of this false peace that we have and actually begin to agitate and abdicate for others and for those that, you know, are able to use their voice in a way to make a statement. Because it did make a statement when they did, you know, boycott for that 24 hours, because people were paying attention. And if it would have been like, we're not doing anything until something is done, then that would have been iconic level. It's like LeBron talks about he want to be an icon like Muhammad Ali. That's what you do. You stand up for what you need to stand up for, just like Ali did back in his time when it came to Vietnam.
Yeah, he did.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did.
Exactly.
I was really proud when
I over there preaching. That's why you passionate.
I tried not to laugh because it was a serious moment and you was killing it. But yeah, it came out of nowhere. But it was great. I understood the passion for sure. Yeah.
My only problem with I call it a pause because that's all it was. It was a pause. My only problem with it was like, I'm questioning the seriousness of it, right? Because I said, okay, you guys claiming like they made the list on ESPN showing what their demands and all that. I said, okay, but you're back playing. Why would they honor it? Why would they go forward to make sure that these things happen? And the first thing I said was, know your worth. If you know that the world has literally no real entertainment, the NBA, WNBA, tennis, all these sports right now, that's all we got. It's like we going home, we going to tune in for these events. Why not use your platform to make a real statement, a real one? If they would have held out until they seen real change, at least somebody for these murders and attempted murders get locked up. Do you know what that would have done? It would have sparked a whole revolution, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I said, y'all played with that. And I said, how could y'all do that? Like, I was hyped up when I heard that they were taking the stands. I said, oh, it's happening. It's about to start. Only to find out that you guys were going to play like the next day. Like, what? That was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. Honestly, y'all might as well have played and then did what y'all been doing, saying what y'all got to say at the end of the game. And everybody tuning in and hearing you, and I'm sure 90% of the TV turns it off. Why not just continue what you're doing? Because what you did it was like, let me make sure I make the black folks happy, and let me make sure I get back to my coin. And if that's what's important to you, then stay loyal to that. But don't dabble in something that you're not really passionate about. That is very sensitive for a lot of people out here. Because if I'm anybody's family, whether it's Breonna Taylor, Jacob, if I'm any of them, I'm not taking that light. But that's just me. Because I'm gonna be honest. I really felt disrespected when they did that. It's like, don't play with the culture. Don't do that, because this is a real serious time. Don't take a pause to make it seem like you care, to prove like, oh, we're not out here balling in the bubble because we worried about our checks or anything. We do care. Look, we didn't play in that one game. No, you want to make a statement? Say, I'm not playing no more. I'm over this. That's what Muhammad Ali did. My man said, all right, cool. Y'all don't want to respect what I believe? True. I'm not boxing. He didn't care that he damn near lost everything. And that's the mentality they got to have. You gotta be willing to lose it all to stand for what you believe in.
And that's the issue. I'll let T go or Alana go, and then I feel like they've already said, like, I feel like they've said everything I could possibly think to say. But you got anything to say, Alana?
I don't. Not to that.
Okay, good. Well, I got a ton of things that I want to get off my chest. Number one, Skip Bayless took issue with Kenny the Jet Smith because he was upset that Kenny left. He was like, I understood why he left, but I wanted him to be there to express and to communicate to us what everybody was feeling and going through. Skip, as a white man, as a 60-plus-year-old white man, you do not have the right to tell a black man how he should be feeling in this point in given time. Stuff like this does not happen to your culture on a regular basis. That's number one. Number two, these NBA players talking about they think that they should get Teslas now because that would like hinder the police from pulling them over because they would be seen as affluent people in the community. First of all, you're going to get pulled over more now. Number one, my dad used to drive a Saab. He used to get pulled over all the time because he was a black man driving a Saab and wearing a suit.
Mm-hmm. Right. My dad too.
If they want to pull you over, they're going to pull you over. And now you're giving them, in their mind, probable cause to pull you over. How dare you think that a Tesla puts you above any of us?
How dare you minimize the situation to what type of car that we
say it?
They were lynching folks in suits.
Right.
Number three, LeBron. I'm with Shane all the way when he talks about Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali took a stand, like Sharice was saying. Muhammad Ali said, look, I'm not going to Vietnam. They have never called me. They have never called me nigger. They have never oppressed me. You are my opposer when I want justice. You are my opposer when I want peace. You are my opposer, is what he kept saying. I'm with Shane 100%. When he's talking about LeBron James and how LeBron James puts himself at the forefront of these civil rights conversations and acts, more than an athlete, then stop doing athletics. Do you know that these NBA players said that if LeBron James isn't going to play, then we're not going to play? You were the one that walked out of that meeting, and then you came back and said, all right, well, cool, let's play. You were the one that walked out of that meeting. If you left, the NBA stops LeBron.
That's
if you left,
there.
The NBA stops. It takes one man to set this stuff in motion. And as trivial as we might say that it is, I do believe that there are white cops, and let's put it like this. Let's put it in context that they can understand. There are blue cops. There are blue lives that like basketball. And I think that they would think twice about doing some of the things that they do if the basketball season was going to be shaken up or stopped because of their actions directly.
Absolutely.
Hey man, let's not kill him today because the Sixers play at 7:00. I do believe that. So, to Sharice's point about sacrifice, that's the issue. No one wants to sacrifice. No one wants to say, look, I understand that this is going to affect my pockets. I understand that these are going to affect the people that I'm rocking with. I understand that this is going to affect this party and that party. This is going to affect my political connects. But what is greater here? That's why you sacrifice. And there's no protest without sacrifice. You making a demonstration.
Exactly.
That's a demonstration. Y'all demonstrated. Y'all didn't protest anything. And it is a slap in the face. It is a slap in the face to people that are actually protesting and giving their lives up, like someone that we're about to talk about in a few moments. People that are literally putting their lives on the line. You guys are mad because you can't get a few checks. Why? Can't you save? Haven't you saved? Kyrie was giving his money to the WNBA. Kyrie was planning to give his money to some other people that felt like they were going to be affected by it. I don't know people's financial situation, but it's better than ours. They in the 7-figure category.
Yep.
Exactly. The bus boycott that happened, they did that for over a year.
Yeah. I think it was 18 months.
This is poor Black people in the midst of a civil rights movement where not only are jobs limited, anything of supplemental income is limited for them. They are literally check to check if they're getting a check. So I don't want to sound dismissive because I am aware that we are not aware of everyone's situation. But I struggle to sympathize with multimillionaires, even thousandaires.
I don't sympathize with multimillionaires. I don't. I'm on record saying I don't.
Telling me they can't sacrifice. You can't tell me that when I look at things like the bus boycott. I struggle. You can make it work. You can make it work. You have to choose.
You can make it. You can make it stretch.
Especially
you can stretch that.
Especially when the NBA is only one source of income. That's only one.
LeBron,
that's only one.
Many.
That's only one. That's
the league minimum. The league minimum is $1 million.
Yeah, and I just think again, it has.
Don't say thousand.
Are you willing to step away from the table? It's like people are trying to negotiate. It's like I still want to be able to have my seat at the table and still care about these issues. And sometimes you may have to realize it's like I may have to leave this table if I actually care about this issue and have to give up what I could have had with this table. And that's and especially considering the fact that you're trying to have a seat at a table that you don't own. You're trying to that they're the ones that control, because that's probably why you went back, because you heard from Adam Silver. I'm not saying I can't be just jumping to conclusions like that, but hey, I am. But yeah, and he's like, pretty much what you would say that you would not respond to, shut up and dribble. Pretty much you did. You shut up and you dribble.
Hello. Exactly.
It is disappointing. Hello. Yes, ma'am.
I just can't get over the fact that's only one source of income.
For most people, it's one source of income, but
it's only one.
It is, and I don't care.
The way I look at it, don't have endorsements, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But,
absolutely. But y'all got to understand, the NBA is the biggest league. If you say I'm taking my talents overseas, it's still you're still getting paid. No, it's not the NBA money, but you're still getting paid to do what you love. And trust me, overseas will go harder for you than what we got over here.
They do.
Stephon Marbury.
Stephon Marbury is a prime example.
Yeah.
He Michael Jordan over there. He is worshipped over there.
Yeah. He has a whole museum over there. Like, that just lets you know.
Wasn't getting that in America.
Nah.
You're not getting that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what if everybody took on the mentality to show these people that they not playing your prominent, most dominant African American players in the WNBA and NBA? What if they dead ass stopped and said, we're not playing in these leagues anymore? Anything associated with the NBA or WNBA? So, we're gonna take our talents overseas, and we're gonna keep it at that. Do you know how big of a statement that would be?
The biggest statement you can make is being in your 17th season, having the greatest chance you've ever, well, arguably the greatest chance you've ever had to getting a championship, to getting your 4th ring, and saying all of this is worthless compared to this.
Absolutely.
You have told LeBron James and the rest of the league, Adam Silver included, has said Black lives don't matter. Period. They don't matter as much as whatever else. They don't matter as much as ratings. They don't matter as much as a championship. They don't matter as much as endorsements. They don't matter as much as. If y'all don't
They invited
care,
it though.
say what?
Like
They did
they
invite
invited it. Like nobody's mad at soccer teams for not protesting.
Exactly.
Because they never were like, look, this is the stand we're gonna make.
Right.
And
Right.
I just
But
think
soccer
so
doesn't have the same
like,
platform.
you can't be upset about the backlash.
Soccer's
Across the world, they're actually
soccer's the biggest
they
sport.
are more watched.
Soccer's a
Yeah.
very big deal.
Yeah, it's the biggest sport. In the world.
It's more watched than in the U.S. and than it is, because the U.S. is where our problem is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We in
The
America.
U.S. is what I'm at. That's where that's
they
our
have
main-
bigger global influence is what I was talking about. But
Yeah.
I
we
mean,
need
like,
noise here to make change
Right.
here, in my
but
opinion.
I don't think anybody would have been mad at them if they didn't open their mouths and say something, like, because there's so many other people who are willing to like speak up and use their voice and their platform and make sacrifices in those ways. So it's just like, you can't expect like all the clout and the love for standing up for Black lives and then be upset like, oh, these people, they're not showing me love anymore but I did it that day, remember? Like Colin Kaepernick, like,
Remember?
he's like, y'all remember me? This is what you were supposed to do. And they're like, no, that's too much though. Like, I want to keep playing basketball. I want to keep playing. I want to stir the water a little bit, and then I want to get out the pool.
You are the example of what not to become.
I kind of
like we celebrate you. We thank you for your sacrifice, but you are the line that is drawn in the sand.
Yep. But could you imagine what it would have been like if his entire team would have came behind him and were like, all of us are gonna kneel?
We wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be in this predicament. We wouldn't be in this what is this boy name? Kyle Rittenhouse. We wouldn't have, I think he killed 2 people.
He sure did.
Alana knows way more about this than I do, I hope. And she's going to inform, if not you all, me and the rest of us listening.
I have notes because I don't want to misquote anything, but Kyle Rittenhouse, he's a 17-year-old white male. So he was just charged on the 30th with 2 counts of first-degree homicide and 1 count of attempted homicide. He also faces charges for recklessly endangering the safety of 2 other people. He's also being charged as an adult, which I actually appreciate. I am one. Well, let me tell you what happened first in case someone doesn't know. He was at a protest as a result of the Wisconsin shooting, Jacob Blake. And during the protest, he was, I'm guessing, walking away from a protester who was yelling at him. in the midst of walking away, he has an AR-15 strapped to his chest. That is a rifle. And there is this protester following him, and supposedly they were throwing something at him, and they get into a scuffle and he kills them. The next person that was killed was actually someone who is being referred to as a martyr, whose name is Anthony Huber, who is a white man, who was a skateboarder who was at the protest, who was trying to disarm Kyle. And he got killed. And then another man got shot in his arm right after Anthony got killed, who was trying to, back Anthony up. So that's the story of what happened. The things that people are mentioning outside of objectively what happened are things to notice, like the fact that he was able to walk past police cars, squad cars, with this AR-15 strapped to his chest, with his hands up, without not being arrested, but not even being stopped, not even being questioned, while protesters are yelling after him, "Hey, stop that man, he shot somebody." This is after he killed the first man. They're telling the police he shot somebody, and he is without harm walking past the police officers with an AR-15 strapped to his chest. I've already shared that I'm glad that he's being charged as an adult. But I am one to also believe that his mother should be charged. It's said that his mother is the one who gave him access to this AR-15, which has multiple counts of unlawful behavior. One, he is under 18. He cannot have a firearm, period. Two, it's the same process as if a mother enables a child to drink who's under 21. You, as the giver of the alcohol, are too guilty. It's being an accomplice. She is an accomplice to those murders. Whether she was there, whether she was a part of the process of planning, any of that, she is an accomplice to those murders because she gave him that gun. So I support them charging her as well. If not with the exact same thing he's being charged with. She is an adult. If they want to try to use, which they do sometimes, the psychological state of a person when they kill somebody because he's 18, and they may say, oh, he doesn't even have the wherewithal to make those type of decisions. She did. And that's his mother, as his guardian of a child who was under 18. You are responsible, unfortunately, for everything they do, especially when it comes to the law. So, it's really insult to injury with this whole Jacob Blake situation, because it's like they're slapping us in the face saying, not only do we not care about what happened to Jacob Blake, this white boy who is clearly walking around with this rifle attached to his chest has more dignity and more right than you adults who are peacefully protesting something that was actually done wrong to someone. You need an explanation for why this guy is walking around with an AR-15 strapped to his chest. You don't need further explanation for why we're out here protesting peacefully when someone just shot somebody in the back 7 times. Yet we get stopped and we get charged with counts of assault and counts of disorderly conduct and counts of reckless endangerment when we're protesting. But then amidst those protests, he can walk by the police in their face with an AR-15 strapped to his chest and not even be stopped, less known questioned. So I don't know. It's just as bad as the shooting to me, to be honest. Because it's literally them saying, let me show you how much I don't care. They act out and you do nothing, and you are the problem. So. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you guys think his mother should be charged.
Yes.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
T, sound off. It's been a while.
For me? Oh, no, I agree with everything Alana just said. But also, like she said, it's like a punctuation to the fact that they were peacefully protesting. And he was able to just walk by them. I have nothing else to really say to add on to that, because I'm just baffled by that. Like, I knew all of these details, but then to just like hear it again and just, what else can I really say? I'm tired of. It's kind of like this right here is the type of stuff that associate that I was talking about would justify. And this is the type of stuff where he would have a but you know, he had his hands up, or he would say something in it. It makes you just, it gets to the point where, like, I'm a say this blatantly on this podcast, and I don't want people to be like, oh, Tobias is encouraging violence, but I understand. Like, I understand why people will get riled up. I understand why people will want to. It's like, you push me so many times. How many times can I be pushed until I want to push back? And then when I push back, it's like then when I push back, you look sad at me. Like, why'd you just push me?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you just letting me do this to you all the time? Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of like, America still sees us as, what was it, like 3/4 of a person to, what is it?
3/5.
3/5. And so then that hasn't changed.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm mad, yo. So then it's kind of like if you guys have been listening to the podcast in the weeks that I've been on here, you guys know I talk. I'm goofy, I'm silly, but then it's those moments where I really get silent that I feel like those are the moments where I'm just like, I can't take it no more.
Mm.
And it's getting to that point. It's been to that point for me, but yeah.
And that's why I say it's a smack in the face for you to pump fake your protests.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is why it's a smack in the face, you know? And it just makes me just think about Nipsey Hussle towards the end of his song Perfect 10, when he says, when you know that, basically to summarize, he goes, when you know you're going to stand behind what you believe in is when you take the stance that you're willing to die behind it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's really the mind state you got to have when you have a platform. I may lose it all. They may even much come after me, but to prove my point and to make my statement, I'm ready to die behind it. You know what I mean? And I said, until the people that have those platforms take that and take it in wholeheartedly, whole within your whole being, until you can take that in and dead ass follow through, we're never going to see change. You know, you got to be outside of yourself, because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than you, LeBron. It is. So don't play with the subject.
And our leadership, Donald Trump,
president,
has gone. Our principal has even gone as far to, in a way, downplay what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, and he has, dismissively said, oh, well, it's under investigation. I think that he was in danger because these people were following him. It looks like he fell in the video before he shot them, and they could have killed him. And not only that, the media has taken it upon themselves to present him as some sort of vigilante and stating things like, he had desires to be a police officer. That's why he had an AR-15. He was out there to protect his country, and then Trump saying he's protecting himself, so he has a right to carry this. So, I mean, when you have a person in charge who doesn't even know the law enough,
don't know the law,
he can't protect himself in that way right now, Donald, because he's not 18. So it doesn't matter if you think that guns are okay. We don't care what you think about the Second Amendment right now. Because he's not 18.
Yeah, it don't apply to him right now.
Doesn't matter.
I feel like that's just him trying to protect himself. He's like, oh, this kid liked me? Okay, well then I need to say nice things about this kid, right?
He's trying to protect whiteness.
He's protecting them white votes. Them
yes.
outrageously ignorant voters that go out there and don't even know oh my God, don't even know what they're saying. They just, Donald Trump. And they don't even know who Donald Trump is going up against. It's just right. Donald Trump. So it's just like, that's what he's securing. He's securing that vote. Exactly. And it's like, it's pathetic at this point.
For me, I've seen too many black men be villainized for when they get shot and they happen to have a cell phone, a wallet, in their hand, and they're shot because the police thought it was a gun.
They don't know.
And this is something straight up obvious that this is a gun, and you don't do nothing. You don't do.
And to piggyback
It's not a
off
little
of
gun.
Shane,
It's a big one. I can't put it in my pocket.
and to piggyback off of Shane, I'm sorry. It's like if they do get shot, then the first thing, like if I got shot tomorrow, Lord forbid, if I got shot tomorrow, the first thing they would say, Tobias, who was arrested, like they won't mention that it was for like some traffic stuff. They're like, Tobias, who was arrested for blah, 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 blah. And list all of this stuff where I'm just like people who know me will be like, that's not Tobias. Or like he got a college degree and he had a decent job. Like they wouldn't say nothing like that. They would be like, Tobias, this. And you're just like, yep,
there's something that's circulating in the media right now where they're showing like two headlines next to each other. The headline that was for Rittenhouse, and I don't know who the black person was that had another headline.
Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice. Okay. I wanted to say Trayvon Martin, but I didn't know who it was.
They juxtapose them between whomever, anybody, juvenile minority. Yes.
Yeah.
They're talking about having found traces of marijuana in Trayvon Martin's body, and that's irrelevant. So, I mean, and that was a part of a headline before. This Trayvon Martin, we all know what happened with that. And you want to talk about the fact that he had some marijuana in his body, traces of marijuana in his body when he got killed.
Now it's almost legal everywhere.
I mean, it is.
I was just about to say that.
But it's literally, that's what I'm saying. It's literally them saying, we don't care. We don't care. It's like a parody or like satire to watch somebody walk around with an AR-15 strapped to your chest. It's like a scene out of like The Simpsons or The Office. It's like, is this a joke?
Or a comic book strip.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's like political satire to watch somebody walk around with an AR-15, a white man waving theoretically, and police officers not saying anything, but them beating and arrest black people right next to them that have a sign that says Black Lives Matter. Like that's what the comic strip would be. So it's just like this is happening in real life, in real time.
But can you imagine having that type of like confidence and like security to be able to walk outside with a gun strapped to your chest in the middle of the night, knowing that it's illegal for you to carry it, walk directly past police officers and feel comfortable knowing that you won't get stopped. Like that's the part about, I think that's what makes it so hard for some white people to understand our relationship with the police, because their relationship is just so different. Like that's literally their heroes. The way we looked at, I'll just use this example because it's relevant right now. The way we look at Black Panther, like this represents us. Like I see myself when I see this. This is our hero. This is finally like a proper representation. Like they see that with the police officers and they feel safe. They feel comfortable, even if they're in the wrong. Like I'm not worried. I heard someone talking about how they had like cocaine with them getting on an airplane, like a white guy. And he was like, if I was a black guy, this never would have happened. And then not only that, but then like I smoked it in the like bathroom on the airplane. Like I know so many stories, like working in like ministry of like my coworkers who are now like running things, like they're running their own programs. Like after they got arrested and flunked out of college and were selling drugs and all of these different opportunities, and then the same kids that they're like working with, they do something minor and it's like their whole life is ruined. It's just fascinating to feel the type of freedom to just like go outside and do whatever you want and know like, even if I'm in the wrong, I'll still be okay. Like people are going to still defend me no matter what. Like, and I think if we could just get them to like remove themselves just for a moment to see like, in order for you to have the security that you're feeling right now, someone is not getting any type of security. In order for you to be able to walk through a crowd of Black people with a gun strapped to your chest and no one even acknowledge you, is because they're acknowledging all the people that are unarmed around you. Like, I don't know how, unless you experience it, the majority of the people that I know that have like this deep allegiance to the police, they don't change that until they have a negative experience personally. Right. And then they're like, oh, so this does happen. Like, so stuff that you guys were talking about is like, it can happen for real. It's real stuff. You're not just making up things for attention. And it's fascinating how they can watch stuff and still see it as attention seeking, but it's because their experience has been it's been so pure for them personally. Like even reading some of the articles about Kyle Rittenhouse and his lawyer is like, he's innocent and we're going to defend him and say, I mean, that's the lawyer's job, obviously, but like just the bravado and the confidence to be able to say like explicitly, no questions, like there's no humbleness of, we're hoping the truth will come out, or, I'm behind Kyle to the end. It's just like, no, these people are being ridiculous and we will prove it. Like
that's because like the safety they feel is not just with white police officers, it is with white people. Like, yeah. I mean, like legit today I even had to think about that because we're planning something for my grandpa's 70th and he wants to go hunting. And I'm like, I don't even know if I feel comfortable planning this with him at this white person's hunting reserve because white people are going to see him with a gun. He's paid to be there. And I'm nervous about that. And it's like, that's the type of discomfort we have to live in, things we have to overthink about. And it's like, that doesn't even make sense. It's other white people. It's not even just police officers.
White people don't just check your privilege, check your entitlement.
Exactly.
I'll say this, that the police, they are here to serve and protect. But the question is, who? And
not us.
And I'll say this also. We have white listeners, and I try to be very considerate of the people that listen to us. Shout out to the people in Ireland that are listening to us, people in Britain that are listening to us. Shout out to you guys. People in America, don't want to overlook you guys. You guys being here, that says something in and of itself, in my opinion. But we're not whitewashing anything here. We love you. We want you to keep coming back. And I think we've said, over the course of these 2 years, we've said some things. And if you're still here, hopefully it doesn't just mean that you have tough skin. Hopefully it means that it resonates with you and that you're taking this back to your white silos. Hopefully. What's been happening in our black silos is we've been trying to find things to get our mind off of the everyday. And you get to peer into what's happening with us. But for us, we trying to escape what's happening to us. And so for us, we had maybe 3 hours to where we can just sit back and enjoy being black. And you guys could peer in on that. And that's the thing, though, right? It's like peer in on these great moments. And we want you to be there for us so that we can continue to have great moments that you can be a part of. But one of those great moments was that Brandy and Monica, they finally had a long awaited versus battle. I'm really, Sharice is ready to go.
She looks like I was
having it. Sharice,
I was looking at everybody's face. I saw smiles, and then I saw that one not smile.
Oh snap!
Exactly.
I don't know what you're saying. This.
So we're gonna talk about verses, but I promised Sharice that I would give her. I didn't give her a time frame, but I'm gonna look at Shah. Stop. I'm not gonna look at her.
What? I'm listening.
I'm not gonna look at her. I'm gonna give Sharice like 5 minutes just to sound off about what's happening, because I know this is a crowded room full of Brandy fans. I don't think Nasia necessarily has.
Don't try it. Don't try it neither. Don't try it.
I'm gonna mute my mic so you won't hear my.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute. We gonna all mute our mics. I don't think Nasia has a dog in the fight.
Do not try to gang up on me, because I am still a Monica fan.
We're not gonna gang up on you, but I can tell you if you say something erroneous.
Jason said you're not.
That should have been your word of the day.
Erroneous?
Yes. The word of the day.
Nasia, are you a Brandy or a Monica fan? Nasia's frozen. Nasia is frozen, man.
She done got scared.
I don't care.
You know who Nasia looks like right now? Frozen.
Who?
I hope she doesn't get offended at this because it's not. I'm not trying to be offensive. Remember the black girl from Jimmy Neutron? Like her hair is like really like locked up like that. That's dope.
Yeah.
And then she left just like that. Sorry.
Right.
Come back,
That
Nasia.
connection.
But all right, and I'm gonna call this segment "Sound Off." So whenever Nasia's back though. So whenever someone needs a sound off, I'll give you 5 minutes just to do your thing. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Okay. Here's my number one problem with this whole versus. I felt when I was watching, it took me all the way back to when I was a kid, when these women first dropped. I'm talking about late 90s. I'm maybe all of 6, 7. And I just remember looking at them like, oh, they're so cool. They're both dope. At the time, sitting in, Brandy was more so like, oh, she's dope. I want to be like her. Then it changed when I started seeing Monica. I'm saying all this because the whole point is they were both prominent in their own way. My problem with mainly social media and just us, period, we got to find a negative.
Uh-huh.
The first thing after the verses is over, even during the verses, but Lord knows I wasn't watching for that. I was watching because I genuinely was happy to see two females who have had awesome careers, in my opinion, their longevity, and to be able to still be able to sing the way they do. I'm just like, that's fire right there. But to get offline and after the verses and to see the comments, the jokes and all that, it was all negative. And I was sitting here like, how does 1.2 million people just on Instagram alone watch something as monumental, as dope, as historic as that? And what they take away from it is, oh, they throwing shade at one another. Wait, what? Like, I said, who's throwing shade at what? So, of course, I start to read comments, and they're basically saying that Monica was throwing shade at Brandy. And then it's like, oh, no, Brandy was throwing shade at Monica. Because, of course, it's two different types of fans. Either you're Brandy or either you're Monica. And the first thing I said is, like, let's put aside who you were a fan of. Let's just talk facts. Was that not great music that you heard on both ends? Did each song not resonate with you to some degree? Whether it was, oh, yeah, I remember hearing that, and this is how I felt about it. Or maybe, oh, this song got me through this. It blows my mind how we could take something that it could be so beautiful, so dope, and we find a negative. Whether it was Brandy's outfit, first of all, before you speak, know what you need to know. She had on designer too. Just because it's not designer that you know doesn't mean that it's not prestige. But the joke is, what is that she's wearing? It's just not your cup of tea. Just because Monica has Fendi on, don't make her outfit any better than hers. It's whatever your cup of tea is. But to take it and run with it, I'm just like, did that take away from what she was providing for you, which was her music? It's like we run with that. Not one person, in my opinion, really acknowledged what was happening, which was two Black females had 1.2 million people glued to, whether it was a cell phone, computer, whatever device they were using, watching them sit there and play songs from the late 90s. No one just took that moment and just grasped it. I went through so many emotions last night that by the end of it, I was in tears because it was just this emotional roller coaster that just lets you know that we're constantly like evolving, right? But it's not, and most people say, oh, you old school. That's why. It's not about being old school. It's about recognizing that it's change. And I just, like, I was just like, yo, this newer generation is disrespectful for no reason. And if this is what we have to look forward to, we're doomed. Because I'm just like, how do you take something? That's just like one of us, right? Like let's just say like Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke did a versus, and we just on there clowning them the whole time. Like, how does that look? And the first thing I always say is it's not even that they're like old, but it's like that's how they're presented in the world of Ariana Grande's and artists like that. So it's just like at the end of the day, respect what paved the way for you. Stop trying to be the hot, best thing. Because I'm just like, at the end of the day, a lot of you artists that are out today can't touch them. Can't touch them. They're here for a reason. And I was just like so far. That's why I just said I don't want to talk about it to anybody. I'm through. I logged off, went to bed, had my moment to myself because wasn't nobody about to take that moment away from me. And Brandy, of course, man. And again, I am a Monica fan, but her song selections was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was playing stuff that I was like, no way, she ain't just do that. Like, yeah, I was like, get the heck out of here, you know. Monica too, she let me down just a little bit, but it was just a dope night. And if you walked away saying anything negative, it's just like you got a lot to do with yourself, like as far as just soul searching, in my opinion, you know, because I'm just like, I was just too done. Like it was so. And the thing was, while I was watching it, I didn't see not one negative comment. But the second it was over, that's when it was just like an outpour. And it was just like, wow, we got to do better, man. We just got to do better. We just have to. And I just was like, Versus is about the music. Why didn't we keep it there? You know, and it was just very upsetting. I don't know how y'all took it. I don't know what y'all was experiencing when y'all was watching it, but I was very excited for it. And to see like negative comments, especially in the shade room and stuff like that, it was very upsetting for me. And I was just like, I guess this is this culture. This is what they do. It's funnier to be a meme. It's funnier to be, you know, I don't know, like just a negative person online. I guess that gets you more attention. I guess. But I'm not here for it. And it was very upsetting to see all that. But that was my biggest fuss with the whole thing. I think they did great. I didn't see shade, but hey, I will say this. I feel like Brandy has more of a adapting type of personality. She's more personable.
You're not there yet. Are you out of your rant right now?
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm out of it.
Right.
But that was my main one.
Yeah.
You did good. That was 6 minutes. So you did good. So before we get into all of that, I just want to explain real quick what happened. Y'all can recap it. Y'all can talk about it. Brandy and Monica, again, they had a versus. 21 songs in total. Oh no, I think it was 21 songs in total. No, 21 rounds. So 40. So 42 songs. Yeah. 42 songs. They went back and forth. Monica and Brandy have a history. If you don't know, they have a history. It's a well-documented history. Someone was slapped in this period of time. Yes, someone was slapped.
Oh.
We won't say who.
If you know the history, you know.
Yeah, someone was hands were put upon. And I would say the history was brought up multiple times in the evening. And so before we get into, I don't even know if we have time for it all, but what are you guys' thoughts on the event? I know Sharice was starting to talk about it, but altogether, what were you guys' thoughts on the event?
It was cool.
Brandy Rihanna Norwood was stupendous.
She said the
I
middle
think
name.
that she did a wonderful job with her song selection. She did a wonderful job with the few ad-libs and pieces of her incomparable voice that she gifted us with last night. I enjoyed Monica as well, truthfully. Like, I really do like Monica. So I enjoyed her. I like listening to songs of hers. It doesn't feel nostalgic to me only because I listen to this music all the time anyway. You know what I mean? So like, I don't feel like I have those gaps of time where I'm not hearing early 90s or 90s or early 2000s like a lot of people do. Like that's still what I listen to on a daily basis. So it just feels like my playlist. But it was fun. It was funny for a lot of reasons.
I thought it was funny too.
It was awkward.
Yeah.
Super awkward. Heavy on the awkward.
At moments,
I think Brandy's an awkward person, and
at
that's
moments
probably
fake. I'm going to say that. Brandy is awkward. She seems a little socially awkward. And I could have done without her poetry.
Yeah,
I knew you was gonna say that.
I could have done without the poetry too.
Channel Moesha.
That's what I'm saying. She was trying to give y'all the whole Moesha thing.
But
Yeah,
the fact that
'cause
she gave
Moesha
us
back
the
on
snippet of
Netflix.
Cinderella, she was really showing off. She really was, because that wasn't even necessary. I'm proud
She
of
did some
her.
low key fixes.
Oh yeah, that was dope. And when she
Yeah.
played like the little
Tupac
Tupac
section.
yep,
And the Biggie.
The Biggie, like the flex.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
He was like,
I think it was only too much because Monica didn't do any of that.
That's not her fault.
Exactly. It's not Brandy's fault that Monica didn't do any of that. So everyone's like, well, she didn't have to do this. She didn't have to. Monica came and Monica was in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Show out.
Have
Oh,
Jay,
yeah.
Usher. She could have had all those people there.
yeah.
She's not cool with Usher.
Yeah, cool.
She's not cool with Usher.
Who not cool with Usher?
Oh.
Monica, she
Oh, yeah, she did
you know,
say
she talked about it.
She slapped him?
She hit up she hit up Usher to, you know, make music on her upcoming album, and he said no.
Told her no.
That means that she not cool with him?
Well, she
Oh,
said
she made it. She's
when I'm
yeah.
old enough.
I can't say no.
Yeah.
Not to Monica, not Monica Denise.
I'm gonna be honest. We got a banger slow jams, and you making it seem like I'm a nobody. Like you're saying no as if I'm a up and coming artist.
Well, what if
That's how she was selling it, in my opinion.
I was gonna say he
So-
didn't say it didn't. We don't necessarily know if he said hell no.
Yeah, he might not have just not liked the song. He might have just been like, nah.
It could have been bigger. He got a baby on the way.
Though that latest Usher song was, and with him and Luda was not that great. I'm just saying.
He had a
That
new
whole
song with
project he
Luda.
put out wasn't that great.
Yeah,
Sex B.
yeah, that's the name of the song.
That
I
is
was
the
like,
funniest
Sex
lyrics.
B.
oh my God.
God.
That was.
No, I like that song. It's just
heard-
not as good as Lovers and Friends.
I'm like,
I heard that song.
that was
I didn't think it was.
that was
I didn't like
disappointing. But yeah,
It's just not as good as that.
but we are not here to talk about Usher Raymond. We are here
Yeah.
You
to
right,
talk
Shay.
about the beautiful.
Hey man, you want to
Wonderful.
host next week's podcast?
Nah, because the way my schedule will be.
All right. I'll have my people call your people, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were saying.
So-
It's the adjective, Shane. The
Yes.
beautiful, the wonderful, comma.
Yes, the vocal Bible.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Randy Norwood. And
Hello.
then we also have, again, the very consistent Monica Denise. Because that's the one thing we have to do. Definitely talk. Definitely, I will give props. I will give props.
You
Consistent.
can't do all of that from Brady and then be like consistent.
That is
But
so
let's be
disrespectful
real.
and hilarious.
Yo, bro.
I'm sorry.
Reliable.
Shane
DB
said, say
the
nice
very
stuff.
sturdy
I'm about to do
Monica.
this.
See what happened? See what happened is.
I knew you were gonna do that. You ain't have enough adjectives for Monica. It's cool.
I'm sorry.
We
I
gonna
respect.
say
Definitely
fly.
I got a lot of respect for
could've said
Monica.
beautiful.
Because definitely one thing I didn't like initially was people were expecting like Monica has nothing, but I'm like, Monica does have hits and she has jams, and so don't just automatically dismiss her. But I will say, just as we kind of get into it, the thing was Monica definitely came in strong because that was one of the things that she kind of really was trying to like set the tone. But I think what did hurt her was her sequencing of things, where there were a couple of rounds that if she would have held off on certain songs, those songs could have won in other spaces.
I agree.
I will say that.
Keeping Brandy's
which-
list the same.
Yeah, like keeping Brandy's list the same. Yeah, there could have been some moments where there could have been some wins. Like,
but you think it was a shutout or something?
I think overall, I agree with how Keith scored it. I just think that probably maybe Monica could have probably at least got maybe at least one, maybe two more wins if she would have sequenced things a little differently. But yeah, other than that, I definitely it was a reminder of Monica's catalog and just the work that she's been able to do over the years. And reason I mentioned her being consistent because there was a period where, again, Brandy took a break from music, but Monica still was able to, in the late 2000s, be able to pull out a few more hits and jams for us. Except for that, every time the beat drops.
Well, she said every
Oh my
time.
God, I cringed when she played it.
Rock them beat every time the beat drop. I thought that's what I thought the White Tee song was. That's when that came out. It was around.
That's what you were kept talking about.
Fam,
them franchise boys.
I was listening to the song yesterday, like before the battle. I was prepping. And I heard one of the rap lyrics. He said, "I'm still spending white tea money," and I said, "You should be."
Yeah.
That was your last hit. I would assume that you would be spending.
Still eating off of.
It was.
Right.
I like. I hope
said it like he was on Family Matters.
I'm tired of her forcing that song on us. It's that and Brandy's poetry. They're equally just as unnecessary, and they should have did a test run so somebody could have said we're good.
Jesus, that was so bad.
I
was so mad.
We are closing out.
Nasia, did you watch it?
No, I did not.
Oh, wow.
Okay. You just here for the chat with Boswick conversation. I understand.
I mean, no, look. If I check my bag of unpopular opinions, I'm not really into Monica or Brandy.
All right.
I like their hits. I listened to their essentials. What I was interested in was, even though you just told me to mute myself, was commentary. I followed your stories heavily yesterday. Okay. I found them very amusing. And my second unpopular opinion is I love the Monica memes. The memes, not Monica memes, the Monica fan memes. Those gave me so much joy because I honestly prefer Monica from the little bit of music of both of their catalogs that I listen to. I prefer Monica. And just hearing the things that people were saying about Monica fans was hilarious to me because that I did not fit the stereotype. So I was able to enjoy laughing about it. And now knowing that she slapped somebody, it makes even more sense why those memes were what they were.
I think most.
I didn't say who slapped who.
Oh, I looked it up.
No.
She just gave it away.
As soon as you said it, I said I must Google. I have a feeling it's Monica because of the memes, but I need to check.
That's why Brandy's jokes were so funny to me because I feel like that's what I would have did. Like if somebody if there was like nobody's ever gonna slap me. Also, but
you want that to be very clear.
But
he like try Jesus, but don't try me.
Right. But I feel like that's like me. Like I was telling Keith earlier, like me and my friend Adrian, when he's like, I feel like that was our dynamic. Like Adrian's serious. And I'm like jokester. So like when he's like angry about something, it's like me kind of just being like, yeah, bro, but like you gonna pistol? Like I'll just make little jokes the entire time until like Adrian like cracks a smile. And I felt like that's what Brandy was doing. Like she was just kind of awkwardly like making little jokes, and they actually made me laugh.
She for sure deflects with humor, and it was awkward to watch because I get secondhand embarrassment very easily, and so it just felt like forcing, and it was. Monica looked like she was there very objectively. And Brandy looked like, oh, let's make the best of it. And Monica like had her moments where if we make a statement to describe her was, we ain't no group.
But that's when it's hard. That's when it became hard. I don't see
what the big deal is about that line. Everyone says that. I don't take into account the history.
It was the things leading up to it. So here's my thing.
But they're not a group.
Okay, they're not a group.
It will be because Monica.
Yeah.
Say that again?
He said they never will be because of Monica.
Well, why would you want to be a group when you stand alone? Fine.
First
I
of
think
all,
Brandy wants to be a group, but I think Brandy is okay with collaboration. And
I just think Brandy is just super friendly.
Yeah.
It is just like, if I smacked you, sis, it's never gonna be the same. Like that. So don't come in here like that. And I get it. Like I said, I see it. Brandy has a very, in my opinion, personable personality. Like, it's like she wants you to enjoy her presence. She cares about what you think, while Monica's over there like, I don't care. And I think that's why I kind of probably identify with her a little better. Like, I'm here because my name is Monica and this is what the people want to see, and I'm giving it to them. But what we not about to do is make it seem like we cool like that.
And don't
if that was the
come
case,
on here. Don't do it. You're not ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's my thing. That's my thing. I'm like, Monica needed to heal more. If you're not ready to joke about it, if you're not ready, then we don't need to do it, because you made it very cringe. Let me finish. You made it very cringeworthy to watch. So when I come out and then we say, and I'm trying to make light of it, before we even get started, you say that you didn't even want to be here and that your manager or someone made you come. You starting off on the wrong foot. Then I make a joke about you said that you used to kick doors down. And so now, yes, comedic timing for Brandy, although she's not the funniest person in the world. She had her jokes written for her on Moesha. I get it. You're trying to make light of this situation. We're supposed to come out here. We saw the past verses. Everyone else was very chummy with one another. We're in the same room together. Let's have a good time together. It is very hard to joke and then for someone not to just have the joke bounce off of them. Fam, even if it's not funny, you see my attempt. Mm-hmm. You see my attempt. If I make, well, she was like, why would you say that? I'm like, fam, I'm joking. And then you didn't even make it easier when I said I'm joking. You just let it ride and then let me feel super awkward, making it super awkward. Like, and then we go forward in the battle, and then it's like you're almost finding things to be offended by.
Exactly.
It's like you're not ready. You weren't ready to do this. And we didn't deserve that attitude. And everyone, and Monica fans, they were like,
you guys are such Brandy fans.
Oh wow. No. This has nothing to do. This right here has nothing to do with being a Brandy fan. It has everything to do with give the fans what they asking for. That ain't got nothing to do with being
my question. Played her songs, bro. She came and played her songs.
My question is, would it have felt nostalgic and would you have gotten feelings if you just sat there and watched both of them looking angrily at each other playing song after song? That wouldn't have been a good time.
I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't have cared because I'm here for the music.
You listen to it on Apple Music then.
Yeah. I love the playlist. I played the playlist out since it
That's
dropped.
what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if that's the case, then the playlist is sufficient, because the things that because Keith's right in this respect. And this part is objective. Mm-hmm. This part is about a person stepping into a space, and I am a proponent for when you are going to do something for somebody, and at this point it's the fans. It matters how you do it, and I feel like a lot. That's not it. The heart behind what you do and how you do it and the way that it comes across means even more than the fact that you did it. And I think the way that Monica did it, it wasn't that it was terrible and it was so distracting that I couldn't enjoy it, but it was noticeable. There were even moments outside of the actual battle where there's video footage of like Brandy making a joke about So Gone, and she says, oh, I guess I'm going to do the So Gone challenge. And Monica goes, girl, bye. Who would she say that? She wouldn't say that to a fan if a fan walked up and said, oh, I really want to sing your So Gone challenge. She wouldn't have said that. It was directed to Brandy, and there is a lace of seriousness in these moments that Monica tries to make seem passive or dismissive. Yeah. You can feel the tension.
Lot of there's some deflection.
Y'all sound like Brandy fans.
No, hey, I've been to concerts. I've been to
concerts. Y'all really are. Y'all Brandy fans.
Brandy, cool. No.
I've been to concerts.
Brandy did some corny jokes too. Brandy
she did.
Super fake. Brandy was being super fake when she was going in and she was doing this elongated speech about
boy is mine. The boy is mine.
Yeah,
I texted Steve and I said, Brandy being fake.
And I agree.
I know how to be objective. I'm objectively speaking about Monica's Monica's whole energy was just like piss poor.
I've been to concerts. I've been to concerts
Okay.
and seen artists that I've loved. I've loved them and seen them perform in that lackluster performance that I paid to see, or even if it was free and I've taken the time to come out and see them and then be like, oh, I don't even think I'm really that much of a fan anymore. Because why did they even just waste my time? Like I'm a fan of this person and you're acting like you don't want to be here. Then why am I here?
Who gave off that? Oh, so y'all trying to say Monica was acting like she didn't want to be there?
Yes.
Since that outfit alone says, don't say I don't want to be here.
Wow.
That outfit alone says I want to be here. I'm just not here for your phoniness. I'm here to play my songs, give my fans what they want. Brandy, like that's y'all always love motherfuckers. That's that era of Brandy fans though, because y'all kind of like sucked into that image of being personable. That's why Brandy sold to me, because it was like they put her image out there to be accepted by like everybody, and it's just not realistic. You know what I mean? I think that like that's more realistic. It's going to be times when I'm not going to be liked, and it's okay.
No, that's
like,
not me.
Now,
That's
I've
not
said stuff.
that part, but
I always said,
I said stuff.
Yeah, that's not
I
going
relate
to
more to Monica personality wise. I don't relate to Brandy personality wise. I'm very much so a realist, but I also am
nobody's just bubbly all the time.
But you're ridiculous like right now.
That I don't want to be in a situation, and I'm not going to show up the way that I need to show up, or the way that my fans need me to. I'm not going to do it. That's also real. To say I cannot do this.
But Pete, if she don't do it, then the stories are way worse
than what
we getting right now.
But then if you don't want to do it,
it's way worse.
It's okay.
She already wasn't going to do it.
It would have passed over.
It would have been way worse.
She already said
I don't think it would have passed over, bro.
She already wasn't doing it.
It would have passed over.
But my thing, why did it stay at all those people watching then? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my only thing. If everybody felt that way and this is like their vibe and their energy and the whole now, how the fuck do you consistently hold 1.2 million people? So that's why a part of me be like, y'all be full of it. Y'all know that y'all really wanted these two women to sit down and play their songs. That's a fact. And I really think Monica put her pride to the side. All right, I'm going to do it. You got Missy calling me. You got Tim calling me. All right, cool. I'm going to do it. And she came out there and she was Monica. She was real. See, I think I like, the sad part is I've been able to like kind of meet both of them. I met Monica more on a personal level.
I've met Monica.
Brandy was like that was, and I was young too. And it was like a hit or miss. Like, it wasn't real to me, but it was like when I met Monica, she was real. Like her security was there, but it was like, oh, I just need my brother. I'm gonna walk through this crowd right here. And she just got up. She was taking pictures with that. Like, to me, that's real. And I'm just like, that's why I can't understand what you're saying, because like.
But I don't think that's Monica's personality always. I said that's what she was in that battle. I said if a fan came up to her, I don't think that would be her personality. I don't think Monica's a mean person.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I've met her.
I think she's too real, and I think people don't know how to adapt it that well. Like, I'm sorry, she's never going to be what we want them to be as far as Brandy and Monica. Son, they already put hands on one another. Like, it's a wrap. I feel like when you put hands on somebody, I don't care if you apologize 1,000 times. It's never the same. And don't let time get in between us that we haven't spoke. Like, so I don't know. I walked into that with the mindset of, I'm just happy that they're
me
here.
and my homegirl put big hands on each other, and I love her. I'd do anything for her.
Well, I don't think
y'all like sisters.
Reconciliation is possible. Let's not.
That's not
Yeah, okay. And trust me, it comes up. It comes up. Like, I remember that time.
And that's the thing. It's like, the presentation is like, Versus is not just about playing songs. It's about the experience. It's about, again, the stories that are being communicated and seeing the engagement between these two artists and how they celebrate one another. And it's like, these are the moments that make the Verses memorable, not just us hearing the songs, but also the interactions that we hear. It's the reason that we, it's the reason why certain verses we talk about more than others. It's like there's a reason mostly everybody done probably forgot about Rick Ross and 2 Chainz because that was
exactly. But I still talk about the Snoop Dogg and DMX. I still like that one.
And so definitely even in the midst of that, even with Jada and Fab, they were doing they trash talk and everything, but you could still see they had like a mutual respect for each other and the sense of how they communicated and everything. And so
so you don't think they have a mutual respect?
I think that Brandy has a mutual respect for Monica, but I do think that Monica does appreciate Brandy because, again, she complimented her tone. I think that when the incident was like hinted at, it did, influence a little bit of her mood in the night. And so I do think that is something that did change things, and it was a little noticeable.
Wait, I'm laughing because she leaning closer, like, what you think? But she got headphones in.
I just want to make sure. I'm just waiting for the big, I'm like, come on, man. Y'all Brandy fans. That's all I can say. Y'all Brandy fans. I gave my fans what they wanted.
Yeah. I don't think anyone here actually cares about Brandy and Monica being friends.
I don't. I don't.
I don't think anybody's speaking from the perspective of something they expected. Like, oh God, I was just really hoping that they would heal and reconcile and be friends. I don't care. So I don't think that that's the place anybody's speaking from. I think that it's more about what Shane said, where this is more of an experience than just music. Because if that's the case, we can just keep listening to our playlist at home. And then it's also about, in the midst of what you're saying, which is an extent of realness for her to carry herself the way she actually feels, in that there are 2 choices when being real. It is to show up and behave the way you want to, regardless of what people think. And there's also a choice to say, you know what? I know I'm going to be this way. And so I'm choosing to not show up because I'm being real about what I'm going to do too. And I know that this is a moment that is an experience because I've also watched verses, or it's been explained to me, because I'm having to sign a contract to do it. So
she could have protested versus.
She could have said she could have kept saying no the way she already was saying no. Mm-hmm. And we were fine. Nobody hates Nas and Jay-Z, and they're probably never going to do one. Nobody would have hated Monica. I would have still listened to You Should Have Known Better and pretended I had a man in jail. So it wouldn't have changed anything. It wouldn't have changed anything.
Reese Murder.
Nah, we wanted that one. People have been speaking of Brandy and Monica forever. People just know Jay-Z and Nas is never going to happen because of who Jay-Z is. Do niggas want it? Absolutely. Yeah. We'll take it. Absolutely. But we just know. It's just certain people that you're just not going to get. And he's one of them. But getting back on topic, I think Monica did it her way. And I'm here for it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'm going to leave. And I'm going to give you a bomb-ass new single. And I'm going to go on my way.
You walk down the street to do it because she literally lived in Atlanta.
No, she don't live there.
Oh, she don't live here?
She got a house there, but they both flew in for that.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
You got to remember who she was dating and who she's cool with. Monica be in LA.
She's in LA.
She's in LA.
Yeah. She's super cool with Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife.
That's what she be in LA.
Yeah. If we could just have a few more moments of your time, we'll be right back to talk about our fallen brother, Chadwick Boseman, and we definitely have to score this battle real quick. We're just going. We'll be right back.
One of the interesting things that I definitely won't want to get a tangent on, but I realized one thing, when they started saying their ages of how young they were in the industry, and then I added up when the fact that, Brandy was dating Wanye, and I was like, hold on.
You late. Yeah. Brandy was about 16 when she was dating Wanye. Yes. Wanye wasn't a boy. He was definitely a man. He wasn't going to man. Yeah. He was definitely a man.
All I'm saying is
it's things that you never thought about it.
Well, he's just not the only one that was fast. Because when you go back and they be making jokes talking about Monica makes songs for girls who were picked up in middle school by grown men. Well, Brandy makes songs for the girls who were too, but were more sneaky.
I want to be down. I want to be down is definitely that
He
song.
was sitting on top of the world.
I want to be down.
Mace wasn't just featured in the song; he was featured in her life.
Yes,
Oh,
because Brandy was definitely 17 then.
A local good evening.
She said, "I made this song when I was 17." I'm like, "Why you say that? Why you?"
Right? You trying to get people started?
Yeah,
like we know, we remember, we remember all this stuff.
There's a reason we can't see a verses with R. Kelly in it. And he would clean up. He would clean up a lot of people.
You would have to handicap R. Kelly.
Said even got 20. They barely even got 10.
I love DMX.
That's the verses he and Tobias. R. Kelly versus the state.
Versus the state, yeah.
That's his verses.
They could have let Ray J did an interlude of One Wish while they did that.
We good.
We good. I don't think anybody wished that. So I want to.
They just said it's so sad. I feel like she's like, y'all picking on my childhood.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I said Nay just said she said it's so sad because he.
I didn't say that was sad. I said I like that song.
I know, but the way you said it like I like that song.
But Ray J's doing good. He's got his own headphones. They selling. They great. And
y'all ready?
They breaking.
They're a lot better. They're a lot better than the Apple headphones. So,
yes,
Ray J got Raycon, and we still gotta go to work in the morning. So
yes, yeah, we do.
So round one.
God for that big sis.
Round one. What About Us versus What About Us by Brandy versus Everything to Me, Monica.
Everything to Me, Monica.
Yeah, I gave this one everything.
What was
to Monica.
Brandy's song?
What About Us?
With Kanye?
No, it was
What About Our Love? I'm sorry, that's Kanye. What About Us? Okay, I'll pick Everything to Me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't try me.
You about to get that card revoked?
That's possible. I've had it since I was 6.
Everything to Me is the better.
But that showed me Monica wanted to come out swinging.
Yo, take the vocals out. God. Y'all be killing me, yo. Oh my
only
God.
when they know that the other person can't sing.
Woo.
All right, I get that to Monica as well. He Is by Brandy versus A Dozen Roses by Monica.
I don't know either.
He is.
Nazel, you supposed to be tallying stuff.
Here, let me get some.
I'm like Mutations of You with the Curtis Mayfield sample. I'm still giving it to He Is, but
Dozen Roses.
Yeah.
And He Is a dope ass song. Too.
It is a dope song.
Yes, it is.
Song.
It's the sample for me.
That's sample. Yep, that's exactly what I was about to say.
A Dozen Roses has a great sample.
Yep.
So who won that, Brandy?
Oh yeah, okay.
Brandy.
Let's do it as a group. Majority rules.
I hate this.
We gonna be super fair.
No, we not. But go ahead.
We saw we gave Monica the first one.
Monica got the first one.
Whoa, the obvious. Like what?
I don't know if that's too obvious because personally, I like What About Us way more than Everything to Me. But
What About Us is a great song.
Yeah.
But Everything to Me.
Okay, third song.
No. All right. So as a group, we said Everything to Me. So that's round one. That's Monica. Round two. Personally, I'm going He Is.
He is.
Shari says A Dozen Roses. Round three. Full Moon by Brandy versus So Gone.
I'm not doing this.
Monica.
Because I love Full Moon. I hate it here.
I do not like that song.
I'm going
You
So
don't like
Gone.
Full Moon?
No.
I'm definitely going So
Gone.
Gone. So Gone.
I voted
I'm
for
so mad she played Full Moon for that. Oh God.
No, she got that. Monica got that point.
I know, but I'm so mad. Like them two songs went up against each other. Because in my world, it's a tie. I love Full Moon. I love that song. Like that song is
a Brandy song you like. Wow.
That bridge is killing.
I like a lot of Brandy songs. It's just like, forget it. I hate it here.
What? No, don't hate it here. Come back. Wanna Be Down. Wanna Be Down versus Don't Take It Personal.
Wanna Be Down.
Want to Be Down.
Because she played the remix. That wasn't fair neither.
Hey, she had a remix.
You think
fair.
Brandy 20 years ago she was about to be doing the verses? Like, I don't want to do a remix. Sorry, MC Light.
Why she didn't play the regular version? Why she didn't play the regular version?
She played the regular version, then she slipped
Yeah,
in.
right.
Yeah.
That whole part where Queen Latifah killed it. Get out of here.
Brandy really,
You guys-
Brandy really
Get
did
in
play.
here, yo.
Like, Brandy,
Y'all are such Brandy fans.
She really did.
Latifa's verse in that song is
But
fire.
But you just voted for. You just.
Because that shit hot. Like, are you kidding me?
You know.
Like that fucking shit was hot. Like, but y'all gotta be real. That's not fair. Like, y'all can't
We gonna be real.
play. She played a remix.
Blame Monica.
Monica should have remixed her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Next,
could have remixed
She had
it.
a rapper on
next.
herself.
I'd rather see So Gone go up against that. Like, are you kidding? But anyway, next,
Baby versus Like This and Like That.
Baby.
Baby. Though I will say Like This and Like That is an underrated cut.
Why underrated?
Yeah. I'm like, it's a good.
Whose
like
song is Baby?
Brandy's.
Oh, Brandy is Brandy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Brandy.
All right. Okay. She's writing on
Brandy's
it. Oh,
up
okay.
3-2.
Angel in Disguise versus
Funny.
Shoulda Known Better.
Should have known better.
I'm going Shoulda Known Better.
Angel in Disguise. I love that song. I can't.
I
Sharice
like
is shaking
Angel in
her.
Disguise,
Why
too.
are you choosing Angel in Disguise, Sharice? Why are you?
Yes. Okay.
I like Angel in
I love
Disguise, too.
that album. Like, are you kidding? Like,
And then I find out there's a Joe sample on it.
Here's
didn't
the
know
funny part. Here's the funny part. Sharice low key got Brandy winning this, but
Hey, Keith. What
it's
did
a
I say?
matchup.
Remember that review I told you about? Keith, remember that review I told you about?
what?
Remember when I was telling you about that
Yes,
review?
yes.
That's what's finna happen right now.
That's what's happening.
Man, but okay, never mind. I'll just stay out of that round. So Brandy won.
When it
No,
was,
we gave that to Shoulda Known Better.
We did.
No, only you two said should have known better, and they said
I don't like that
Angel
song.
in Disguise,
That's
and
the thing. Like,
I was gonna say should have known better, but then it would be a
Shouldn't-
tie.
I know it. I
If
know
you say
it.
should have known better,
It was just like a Hood Booger. It was like a Hood Booger Nation anthem. It was like I'm gonna hold my man down even though he shot my man. Like, you know what
True.
I'm saying? It's like, hell no. Like, I'm not here
Oh,
for that.
like
That's when I was like, she went too far with that image. I was like, she went too far. Like,
I mean, are we
Okay.
not
I'm not
talking
holding none
hits right now,
nigga
though?
down. I'm
Are we
not.
not
I like
talking
that
hits?
song.
We are talking missing you versus For You
So
I
Brandy
Will.
won that one.
Wait,
That
what
doesn't make
round was
sense.
that? That was round 6.
Monica won. Should have known better.
I vote Angel in Disguise.
I mean, like hits
I
though. We're
voted
talking hits.
We talking hits.
Should have known
But I'm
better.
saying-
What's a bigger hit than
Should have known. It is. I will say
Angel
that.
in
round was
Disguise
that?
was not
What round?
a single.
It was a B side.
So that's why I said Shoulda Known Better. Because
Right.
Shoulda Known Better charted.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a fire
We
song.
doing
Should I
that.
know?
Oh.
So okay, I'm
Missing-
going back to Monica's side.
Missing You by Missing You featuring Everyone and Their Mama versus For You I Will.
Come on.
Mm.
Come on now.
Missing you.
For You I Will.
For You I Will.
For you, I will.
For You I Will. That's
For you, I
Monica.
will. It's Monica.
That's Monica.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Statement.
Look, y'all, I'm on something. I'm
I
keeping it up a little bit.
appreciate you. I see.
I'm proud of you.
But
I just
everybody
need to know
knows
what round
almost
it
doesn't
is.
count. Almost doesn't count versus Why I Love You So Much. Almost doesn't count
Almost doesn't count.
versus Why I Love You So Much.
Almost doesn't count.
Almost doesn't count.
Almost doesn't count as Brandy.
Yes.
I know.
I feel
Oh my
like
goodness,
I feel like by
y'all.
the end of this,
This
you're
is
gonna
a
say
tie
that
game
you're
again.
guilty.
No, I'm not being smart. I'm literally asking questions.
Oh no.
Oh.
I was-
We know. Yeah, because she's not fully aware of their
Just keep
catalogs.
Right,
keep
but
going.
I'm very upset because that's like,
I'm just.
It's a
laughing at you.
sequencing battle at the end of the day. Broken Hearted versus Love All Over Me.
Broken
love all
Hearted.
over me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Love All Over Me.
Love all over me.
Kanye.
Tobias,
Love all over me.
Tobias, you said what?
I said love all over me.
Yep. She should have
Exchange.
put that against a different
Hold
song.
on. Broken Hearted.
Shane said Broken Hearted. Okay. What is everyone saying? Sharice, you said Love All Over Me.
Love all over me.
Alana, you said
Brokenhearted.
I'm going brokenhearted because I had Wanye on it.
Brokenhearted is Brandy.
Throw
Yeah.
the friend away. Mm.
It's Wanye.
It is
Yeah,
5-4
it's
Brandy.
Oh, head shaking, chunky neck. Like, oh my God. Next.
Wow.
We don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. Anything, anything to find you versus Top of the World.
Top of
Now,
the
so-
world.
Top of the
Okay,
world.
we all it's unanimous.
That's Monica.
No.
Oh, that's Brandy.
That's Brandy.
Yes.
So sorry, Brandy. No disrespect.
Still Standing versus Borderline.
Still standing.
Borderline.
Still standing.
I'm going Still Standing. Borderline is way too new.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I love Borderline, but yeah, it's still.
I love Borderline too, but yeah, it is like.
Can you just drop me one person's name?
Monica.
Still standing.
Still Standing is Monica.
Still standing is Monica.
Still standing
Yeah.
is the one that won.
Yes.
Okay.
Commitment
Thank you.
by Monica versus Love Again by Brandy and Daniel Caesar.
Love Again.
I don't
Commitment.
know Commitment. Love Again. And that
Commitment.
song did well.
Yeah,
And that shit
Commitment is
charted.
real good though.
Love
Yeah.
Again.
Okay.
Love
got a
Again.
number-
Charlie.
Yeah, she got on Adult something. She got a number one Adult Airplay.
Yeah.
No,
So
yeah.
Love Again by Brandy won.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Slow Jam by Usher
Slow Jam.
featuring Monica. You don't really
I know
matter.
that one.
Don't
Yeah.
really matter. Slow Jam versus Put It Down featuring Chris Brown by Brandy.
Slow
Slow
Jam.
Jam.
Slow
Slow Jam.
Jam.
If you
Slow
say
Jam.
anything other than Slow Jam,
Put It
no
Down
ma'am.
is almost as bad as When the Beat Drop.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
that
like-
song. I like
They
that
should
song.
they should have
I
they
like
should have
that song too, but don't put it up against that.
Yeah,
that should have
it's
been the
not a
battle
good-
of
it's not a
the
good
battle of the
fight.
terrible songs. Battle of we
Word.
trying to catch
Poison.
ones. Those we trying to catch one song.
No, the battle of what they doing now? All right, let's
Mhm.
do something.
What the
How you
kids
do,
doing?
youth?
What the kid? Yeah.
What the kids
Hello,
do.
fellow kids.
Song.
First Night by Monica versus Who Is She to You by Brandy.
First night.
I'm going First Night.
First night.
Yeah, first night.
See, Shaw.
And that's a mean song.
Who Is She to You
Yeah,
is
she went off.
crazy. Who Is She to
She
You
went
is
off.
crazy. But it
But
wasn't a single.
Wasn't it?
It was a single.
Was
They had
it?
a
But
video, they had a video and everything for
First
it.
night is
It was
First Night.
Wasn't it on 106 in Park?
And then both of them had videos. First Night and Who Is She to You.
Well, we talking about an era where cats used to make videos because they personally liked the song.
But if you putting out a video, you putting out a video, it's a single.
Knock,
That's
knock. Knock, knock.
So was Beyonce's whole that one
Nope.
album? Was that
Nope.
whole album?
Don't have time for Beyonce.
That's a whole different conversation.
Not-
Class of her own.
Knock, knock. By Monica versus Best Friend by Brandy.
I like
Best
Knock
Friend.
Knock,
Brandy.
but Best Friend.
I'm going knock.
I
I'm
feel,
going
I
knock,
feel
knock.
like Knock Knock. I feel like Knock Knock was a flex. Like me and Missy make great songs. We're about to
I like none.
take a song that sounds similar to what we've done already, and y'all
Right.
still gonna love it.
Tobias,
Knock, knock.
you said what?
I said not.
Shane, you said
Best Friend.
Alana.
Best Friend.
You said Best Friend. Okay, I'm going knock knock. Okay, so
Was
Brandy
that
wins.
3 knock knocks?
Yes. So no,
That
it's
was
just
3
me-
knock knocks.
Me and Keith.
It was
are-
2 knock knocks and 3 best friends.
3
Yes.
Best
Yeah.
Friend.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Before You Walk Out of My Life by Monica versus Sitting Up in My Room by Brandy.
I can't stand them. I really can't.
So that's obviously a Brandy one. By the way, you
Knock
guys.
in my room.
Clearly, it's Brandy. Like
I'm like, it's Brandy and Babyface.
Sha, what do you want? Sha, wait, but time out. This is so funny. But this is so funny though.
I love that soundtrack.
Time out. You time out. Time out.
You got
Time out.
Babyface.
Time out. Sharice is mad because she's picking Brandy.
I told you.
That's why she's
I
mad.
wouldn't pick these songs over other songs. Like
It's all about sequencing.
everywhere.
Yeah,
It is.
I told you. I told you.
Well, I've been saying that since the first battle ever.
Killed Monica.
Yeah.
Next.
Every time the beat drops, I think it's every time the beat drops.
I don't care what
versus
goes up against this.
versus talk about our love.
Yeah.
Talk about our love.
Yep, Brandy.
Brandy got this one. Sideline Ho
Silent Home.
by Monica
Gotta let these hoes know.
versus Put That on Everything by Brandy.
Put that
Silent
on
Home.
everything.
I'm going to put that on everything. I was like, I didn't.
Are you pointing at me?
Yes.
Silent Home.
That was my first time ever hearing Sideline Ho.
Yeah, that was my first time hearing Sideline Ho too.
That wasn't my first time, but I Put That on Everything is one of the Brandy staples that I play when I'm trying to tell people that she's the best.
Yeah, put that on everything.
So
Who is the
Gonna get that
hoe in
round.
Sideline Ho?
All these girls out here that think it's okay to mess with your man
why she looking so
when
right
you're
in
not
there?
around. That's who that's for.
Okay.
No, but Nasia looked down and looked up like she was about to write that down.
She did like she's taking up. And who is the hoe in Sideline Ho?
It was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Alicia, Dawn, LaShawn, and Alicia. At least 3 Kims.
Yeah, funny.
Trust by Keisha Cole featuring Monica versus When You Touch Me by Brandy.
Trust.
When You Trust Me.
Yeah,
Now, I
trust.
love trust. When You Touch Me is another staple though, and you better not say it was for hood boogers.
Hood boogers?
She said that about should have known better.
Oh, she said hood boogers. Oh.
Yeah, she
But it
did.
is a Keisha Cole song.
I
Trust.
love Keisha Cole.
Keisha Cole is the president for the
Yeah. I am not just a member, but I'm not a president. I'm a member.
Well, then
So
Monica,
that
the
is
OG
someone
kid.
I would like to see her do it versus as well.
You would like to see
She should have did it against Monica.
What's one?
No.
You said
Yeah.
who? Keisha Cole?
Unfortunately,
Does Keisha Cole
they
have
are the
20?
same caliber.
Keisha
that's
don't
Keisha
have
Cole.
20, but Monica
Nah.
Monica don't have 20.
True, but
She just didn't play the ones that she should have played. Anyway, next.
she
No,
played
what
all
did we
the
say?
ones.
Did we Tobias, did you say trust or When You Touch Me?
You touch me.
I said
Pause.
trust.
And don't say it that soft
Look how
ever
he
again. Don't.
Where do you think you are?
I didn't know what to
I'm
do.
sleeping.
I froze.
This is thank God for the group chat, not the quiet storm.
I've been up since 5. I've been up since 5 in the morning.
I didn't know what to do. I
morning.
froze. I was like, you
Sleeping.
don't know him like that. I
am
didn't like,
I am sleeping. You know, I've been up since 5 in the morning.
You know I'm screenshotting this and I'm posting this on my story, right?
I've been up since 5 in the morning.
No nonsense. I didn't know what to do.
I've been up since 5 in the morning.
Tobias came with that quiet
I was
storm
answering the question.
You said,
I was just like,
you said it.
I was
you gotta
in my
move
mind,
on.
I shrugged it off. I was like,
When You Touch Me.
So Tobias, stop. We gotta move on. Tobias said, "Will you touch me?" Shane, you're going with what?
Trust.
I'm going with trust. You're going with When You Touch Me, Alana. I know it.
Yes.
And Sharice,
trust wins.
Sharice, you're the tiebreaker? Are you trust?
Trust.
All right.
Yes,
So
thank you.
Monica,
Trust is Monica.
Thank
Okay.
God.
what's the score? So if Monica too close, I can start giving everything to Brandy. What's the score?
No.
Hate it here. Hate
I'll
it
let
here.
you know when it's over.
Edited.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Just Right for Me by Monica versus Have You Ever by Brandy. Have you
Hate it
ever?
here.
Have you ever?
That's
What
too
was
easy.
Monica's?
It don't matter.
It
It's
doesn't
Have You
matter.
Ever?
Brandy won.
Yeah.
Okay,
Have you ever?
Brandy won.
By Brandy. Angel of Mine by Monica. This is kind of hard. Angel of Mine
Hard as hell.
by Monica versus The Boy Is Mine by Brandy featuring
The Boy Is Mine.
I didn't know that you could pick one song that you did with both of y'all.
Yeah.
I think Brandy was trying to be nice to say, like, look, like this is not we celebrating, we not battling.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have counted it as.
Why did she
Oh,
put it? Put it against.
no, that's not even how I
But
meant.
she put it against one of Monica's better.
like,
songs.
Anyway, I'm going with Monica, Angel of Mine.
How you
That's
know Angel
childish.
of Mine?
Boy is
That
mine.
song means so much to me. Are you kidding?
Tyrese was in that video, like,
She should have
Can I-
put it
can I
against
climb?
one of
Tyrese.
Monica's bad songs, and then that's like, it's just for fun. She put it against one of her best songs. That's childish.
that is childish. Like, here's your song that you're on, about to kill the other song that you're known for.
Mhm.
That's so childish. That's so childish. I think that's hilarious, though.
I
Tobias,
bet
what you-
Monica went against the grain on that. I thought you was gonna play the song that we made together.
Tobias, what are you picking?
Oh, what was it again? The Boy Is Mine and what else?
Angel of Mine.
Angel of Mine.
I
I
don't.
can't
That was
believe
hard
there's
for me.
hesitation
Actually.
here.
If we're talking about what song was bigger,
The Boy
Angel
Is
of Mine,
Yeah.
Boys, but it's
The Boy Is Mine, I
that's
think was
even
bigger, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Did
it was.
They
That's
won a
even
Grammy for that song?
That song was
Did Angel
massive.
of Mine win a Grammy?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
That's
Angel of Mine, I
even
think,
weird.
was number one for like 4 weeks, I think.
yeah.
It's even weird to give that point to Brandy because Monica was on that song.
I think we gotta give a point to Brandy and Monica, but hey,
Yeah.
who am I?
All right,
I don't think it's weird at all.
all right. Let's.
I'm like-
I ain't mad
We
at you.
can do a
So we're
tie.
giving 2 points.
I'm not giving it a tie. It's Brandy featuring Monica.
I was trying to be nice. So, hey,
Well, even your own sis said that she had to get her on it. It wouldn't have been right
And we
without
thank
her.
her.
And
But it's
that's
still
when
not the song.
we was saying that she was lying and capping and.
Are we
all
giving
the
Keep
things
the
that
Cola
you
point
can
for
Who else could have did that song and it would have been like the same impact at that time?
Mm.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
who else could have did it?
Yeah, I'll wait.
Tevin Campbell.
Anybody from SW.
So you saying Tevin Campbell?
Shut up.
Okay, never mind.
Denise.
Oh my god.
Tevin Campbell could have been right on there with Brandy. Getting that song on.
Oh no, that's it.
Not yours, but mine.
Tevin Campbell.
That's childish and hilarious.
Anyway, what's the
Tatiana, I
final
was
tally?
singing around the time too.
Yeah, what's the tally? What's the score? Who won?
Is that was it? That was the last
Yep.
one?
Yep, that was the last one.
It is Monica with 9 to
Mm,
Brandy's 13.
that's super. God, you participated in giving Brandy 13.
She's
You gave
over.
her these points.
For those of us,
I mean,
for those of
technically,
you
it really
listening,
is 13-8.
for those of you listening, Sharice got up and walked.
Sharice has left the building.
I really can't. I can't. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. It's hard. That's all I gotta say.
Sharice is on record giving points to Brandy.
Yeah,
Yes,
some
because these are
tiebreakers too.
facts. You have to be real. You have to be real. You
My
can't.
sister.
Oh yeah, I'm giving that to Monica because I like Monica. Like, come on now.
You do gotta be
can't
real.
do that.
Yeah.
You have to
We
be
were
real.
real.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. No, y'all was definitely real. I'm not mad at that. But what I'm saying is, I just wish Monica would have did
Major.
things a little
They
different.
just showing this.
Like, let's take out every time the beat
As-
drop. Let's not use that. That was a waste of time. Because let's
Sequencing
be real,
matters.
we didn't really like that. We didn't like your fans, Monica. We wasn't really feeling it. We just,
No.
went along with it.
Right.
'Cause,
Monica was like, who produced that Nelly song? Smile for my daddy. What you looking at? She's like, yeah, I want that same song. Exactly. And I better get it.
Somebody posted that I didn't like every time the beat dropped. They said, "What? I love that song."
And then you unfriended them?
No,
I don't think you unfriend people over that song.
you would.
I don't know. I feel like
I question you as a fan of Monica.
That's
If
a
you
biased
that,
she loved everything. Monica.
I'm like, you are some blind loyalist if you're,
Clear.
yeah.
Every
Speak-
time the beat drops, Monica don't even like that song. She didn't even dance that hard with it.
right, like that's why I understand why she played it. Like,
Speaking of super anything,
She'll run out of gas.
I was at I don't run out of gas anymore, Shane.
No, I'm talking about Monica.
Shane told me about 5 years ago, he said, Keith, you better stop running out of gas. You a grown man. Right.
There was a period in time when you were just consistently running out of gas.
There was.
I'll be low on gas.
You was driving on faith, bro.
But speaking of, definitely driving by
or
faith, not by
are you
sight.
driving on? I know my car.
That was it.
I've driven on. I know my car. I've driven on my car. I know my car once. Never again because I didn't know my car.
My car was like, well, if you know me, then you know I'm about to run out of gas. So I'm about to pull over here on 85. You just start
Oh my God.
start shifting over into the shoulder. No, I actually took my car to a drive-in theater for the first time on Friday, I think it was, this past weekend. It's the first and only Black-owned cinema or drive-in theater in the state of New Jersey. It might be America. Don't quote me. But I learned there while watching Why Did I Get Married that the great Chadwick Boseman trends, what's the word? I don't want
Inspired.
transitioned and transcended into the afterlife. Nasia, big Marvel fan, watched many a movie with you in one sitting. Please talk to us.
Yeah, so this past Friday, Chadwick passed away. It feels like one of those monumentous occasions where you just will remember where you were. We all have those moments. 9/11 was my first one. Kobe passing was my second. And unfortunately, the same year Chadwick passing is my third. But I think what was remarkable about Chadwick's passing is especially with a lot of Black celebrities, people try to find the bad in them. And absolutely no one can say anything negative about this man. From the heartwarming posts you see from his fellow castmates, from the studios he's worked with, from fans, it's just been so encouraging and challenging for me to really want to give it my all and live my best life, because that's what he did. I think there have been a lot of things that we could take from Chadwick's life as a real superhero. And I'm sure everyone has something to mention, so I don't want to take them all. But I just want to continue with that energy that has been all over the internet the past few days with praising this man for the life that he lived and the struggles that he fought in secrecy. And I think that there's a lot of lessons that we can learn, especially being a generation that puts a lot of our personal information online and shares a lot of our personal information with the masses, with how to do that respectfully, eloquently, and also always remembering the responsibility that we have as influencers in whatever capacity we are in. So, I guess I'll just start with sharing one thing that I really enjoyed about Chadwick is that he shows me that we can never let our circumstances prevent us from pursuing things. And not even just pursuing things. I think it's pretty remarkable that he was going through cancer. Cancer treatment in this awful diagnosis. It's something that people usually lose hope and get depressed. And he just went harder after his dreams. He went harder after mentoring and engaging with kids and speaking out positivity. But even more so, I feel like a lot of people would have used the opportunity to either like receive pity or attention or get opportunities, just milk it in any way that they could. And rightfully so for some people, you know, but he chose to keep it to himself because he knew that the impact that he had on the community. And that was more important to him than what he was dealing with. And I definitely see that as a challenge, especially like, I feel like when we're going through stuff emotionally, we like to share on the internet. And he refrained from that in every opportunity, even when paparazzi's taking pictures of him saying, oh, he looks sick, he looks thin, he like, what's going on? He had like legitimate excuse, and he never used that, like, even to defend himself, because I don't know, he just represented a man of honor. And before I keep rambling on about Chadwick, because he was legit one of my top 3 favorite entertainers. I don't want to steal stuff from everybody else.
I'll say that, adding on to the part about him being a man of honor, I think that what I loved about him is that it seemed that he always picked roles that had integrity. It seemed as though he didn't ever take what roles he chose lightly. And I've heard him speak about that a few times, but for him to play such iconic and really important roles means a lot to me, because I love movies. And like specifically movies about people's lives, just they stand out to me the most. And I think that it was when I watched his performance of James Brown that I realized, like, he is like scarily talented. Like, I still remember being in the theater by myself, because I went to see it by myself, and him walking down that hallway when it was like the end of the movie. And you couldn't have told me that that wasn't actually James Brown. Like, it was crazy. And I think that that was the moment that I really appreciated him, learned to appreciate him the most as an actor. But he was always really graceful as a person in every interview and any time that he would like do visits with children and things like that. And for him to be fighting the exact thing that he was visiting children for is just, it's encouraging. It's enlightening, but then it's also like really disheartening, because it had to be a lot for him to keep that in and then still have a smile on his face to encourage these children who are going through the same thing. So I think he was just a man of integrity, both in life and in his work.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick back off that, and just like the respectability he had when it came to just the people that he interacted with, and especially just, you know, being an actor, having such clout, and even when they were doing Black Panther, just being willing to be there when they were doing the casting calls for, engaging with with the people that would become and part of those roles. How he wrestled with Duke Winston, like actually engaged, and Duke accidentally broke his bracelet, but it didn't even matter to Chad, and just being able to engage with people on such a personal level, even with being so prominent in Hollywood as where he was. And so that is one of the things that just sticks out. And so it's also just really speaks to the reason why, there is a regard for this man, that he genuinely cared about people, and that truly when you were around him, it's like his presence was able to, really, feel different. It didn't feel like someone who wanted to, waver it over someone's head, but really use it for, a greater good. And I think that definitely with the roles he's chosen, and just the way that he has carried, and just the things he's communicated, and the speeches that he's given at Howard, and all the things that he was saying to the class, and it just shows a man who really cared about people, and really wanted to invest in others, and just give of himself.
Agree with all of that.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
I just wanted to say a thing that stuck out to me when I looked up a lot of stuff about Chadwick was he always spoke on purpose. And so that continuously popped up. I I'm not even gonna lie. I got a little emotional when I found out. Cause I'm really big on movies. Like I'm big on like arts and stuff like that. So I'm not just like, I know we always talk about me being into like hip hop and stuff, but I'm big into all kinds of music, and I've even written like a screenplay. And so watching Chadwick actually like that's inspired me and to continuously do stuff like that. And I noticed like the only movie I haven't seen was the last one, The Five Bloods. Mm-hmm. And I just can't bring, for whatever reason, normally when he comes out with a movie, I'm on it. And in that last one, for some reason, to be honest, I had kind of seen the post about him possibly being sick, and not to delve too deep into anything, but a part of me, I guess I kind of felt like I knew. And so I didn't watch the movie. Like I felt like I kept putting it off for some reason, and that I was like, that's not like me. Like I'm first to listen to an album, first to watch a movie, and I just kept putting it off. And yeah, it's sad because like you watch the interviews, and a part of you kind of feel like you knew the guy, and he seemed like a genuinely good person. I admired that he used his craft for good. He used his craft to inspire. He used and he continuously spoke about God openly. And the thing, like I said, purpose, and it makes you. We all have one, and we all should be walking in it. And also, you never know what someone's going through. It's, I'm quick to say a joke, but at the same time, you never know like what somebody's keeping in, because yeah. But that's all I have to say about that. I can't hear you, Keith.
We got about 30 seconds left. Shaw, you got anything you want to say real quick?
I just wanted to say that he was Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Black Panther. It just hurts. And so he's a symbol in the sense that we literally can be, we as in African Americans, we literally can be anything we want to be. And I think he just really, he was just that light seeing that. And we just always have to just keep in mind that you really have to be careful of how you treat people and how you go about talking to them and approaching them, because you just never know what they're going through and how they're handling it. It's tough for me to talk about Chadwick, though, to be honest.
Okay, so I just wanted to share one more thing from somebody that knew Chadwick personally. And Keith, I know you have already seen this, but it's from Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. And if for some reason you have not seen the Black Panther series, I'll just give you a very, very short synopsis. It's about a young king, a young prince, from a fictional country in Africa. They are a superior country. They have technology that no one else on the planet has had access to. And they've been living pretty much hidden from the rest of the world to pretty much protect their resources. This king, so the prince's father had a brother, and the brother was living in the United States, pretty much just like being a spy in the area to check on what we were doing in America. And he fell in love with an American and had a baby. The king killed his brother, and his son, the son of the father who died, grew up with this hatred for his home country that he never has been to. Eventually, the king dies, the prince becomes king, and he is the Black Panther. The Black Panther is responsible for protecting the country from danger, essentially. And he has ridiculous amount of power. So the Black Panther has become this icon for Black Americans and probably just people of color around the world. He's our first superhero that we really have come to love. And Killmonger, who is his cousin, this young Black kid who watched his father get murdered by his uncle, they become like enemies. And Killmonger comes to try to fight for the right to be the Black Panther and to have the throne in Wakanda, this fictional land. And he defeats his cousin. He defeats his cousin, the current Black Panther, whose name is T'Challa. And he says, "Is this your king?" And it was such a powerful moment of the movie. And it's pretty much like, this is the person that you have in charge. This is the person that you respected. And I defeated him with ease because, I should be the rightful ruler because, the Black Panther was more about peace than war. And his intention was not to ever kill his cousin. So it was just in a different mindset than Killmonger was. But the actors that played Black Panther and Killmonger are Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther or T'Challa, and Michael B. Jordan made a very beautiful post to honor Chadwick on Instagram, but I really just want to read the last sentence, which was just a phenomenal way to honor him. And it was, "Is this your king? Yes, he is. Rest in power, brother." And I just want to echo those sentiments. He is our king. Yeah. Rest in power. We love you, Chadwick. Thank you for everything that you've done.
Yeah. When we looked at the post that he posted a couple of months ago, when he looked very ill, I wrote it off and I said, "Come on, guys, he's working on something because he's an actor for real. He's a thespian."
Yep.
Like, I'm like, he's not sick. But for a guy like me who thinks about death constantly,
yep.
Like, if you're in my life, I've thought about your death a million times and how I would deal with it, which is why, like, it's a coping mechanism. It's a defense mechanism to, like, so when it occurs, like it's not like a brunt trauma type of thing. Like, I'm not hit with it. It's like, well, yeah, I've been expecting people to die.
Right. Absolutely.
So with that, it's hard juxtaposing it with this whole thing of, like, sometimes God will put people in my head to pray for, like, he'll pray for this person. And, like, before I know it, like, they're gone, you know what I mean? Or, like, they passed away or whatever it is, or something happened to them. Watching the movie, I was like, man, what if this is going to be really hard to watch when he passes, like, when he's super old.
Right. Right.
That's what, and I always try to, like, end it like that, but it's going to be super long from there. Like, I did the same thing with Kobe. Like, man, this is going to be really hard to think about, like, when Kobe finally passes, like, when he's, like, in his 80s or something like that.
Yep.
Like everyone else, I brushed it off. People made jokes about it, which is to be expected. But I'm also the type of person that says, yo, you got to cherish people, man.
Absolutely.
Because I think about all those things, because those things, come to my mind, I think you have to cherish people. And watching him in Get Up was the first time that I was introduced to him. Or maybe 42. No, Get Up was the first time I was introduced to him. I said, oh, snap, this guy can act for real. Yeah. And then, you saw him in 42. I haven't seen Marshall yet. But you saw how purposeful he was in whatever it was that he was doing. And like Tobias, that's what I got from him in his life was purpose. You know, you can hear more from me on that topic from last episode. But I just want to say, rest in paradise, Chadwick Boseman. From the things that he said,
Absolutely.
you can kind of surmise that he knew the Lord in many ways. And so I'm hopeful for that, and I'm thankful for that.
Praise God.
I'm glad that he married his longtime girlfriend. She's so pretty. And I was thinking, like,
super pretty.
I was like, you gotta marry this woman. Like, longtime girlfriend, marry this woman. He married her. Yeah. Chadwick Boseman forever. You know.
Chadwick forever.
So I just want to say thank you to Nasia and to Tobias and Shane and Sharice and Alana. We had a full house today. Thank you for everyone being here. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Thank you for everyone listening to this podcast. The sky is the limit from here. Like, I'm so serious. It's put me in a different space. Like, you know, talking to Lon and talking to Victoria, and, you know, just, you know, Jared is my brother. Lon is my brother. Well documented in that. Love Victoria to death. But going forward, it's a new look, but we moving forward in purpose, man. And so hope that y'all are here for the ride. We love y'all. Thank y'all again. Bailey, Daddy loves you. Peace.